Well, we are back, huh? We're back at the 9 Club, everybody. Let me tell you, today we got a special guest. Mr. Geoff Rowley is here.
Well, thank you for having me. You're making me blush.
Did he pronounce that right?
Rowley?
Rowley?
No, you didn't. You want to try it again?
Geoff Rowley.
Would you like me to pronounce my name correctly?
Please.
Okay, it's Geoff Rowley for the record.
Rowley.
Geoff Rowley.
Yep.
Like roly-poly.
Like roly-poly, pudding and pie, kissed the girls and made him cry.
There you
Ever heard of that nursery rhyme?
No, but that's a great way to remember your name.
Exactly.
Geoff Roly-poly.
Pudding and pie.
Pudding and pie.
Kissed the girls and made him cry.
Kissed the girls and made him... Why are you making the girls cry, bro?
It's just I never made the song up.
Okay. Dude, thank you so much for coming. This is amazing, bro.
I'm excited. Thank you for having me, man.
Of
I know you
course.
guys have been doing this for quite a few years now, right?
Yeah, we've been trying to get you on since day one.
I've been around, man. You just need to pick up the phone.
Hyped you're here, dude.
Oh, man, this is great, bro. How you been? Everything good?
Yeah, man, I've been good. Just doing the do. I mean, I'm doing the same shit I've been doing most of my life. You know, I skate a lot.
Yeah.
And I go through waves of really being like folk, like we all do. Right, and I'm right in the middle of that right now, where I'm skating a lot, I'm filming a lot, and in order to keep doing that, right, you got to stay in good shape. You got to be really focused. You got to think about your skating. You got to sleep with your skateboard. I'm kind of in that mode right now.
Oh, do you have a pillow for it?
No, not anymore.
No,
I've just got skateboards coming out my ears.
It's harder when you get older, though. No, it's like your body, like you said, you got to keep in shape. You got to do all this stuff. We're not spring chickens anymore.
Absolutely, you know, like for sure. Yeah. You know, especially when you get hurt. And,
oh man.
You know, when you film a lot, and you know, most of the videos I make, I break something making the video. Like I don't think there's one video part that I've put out that I haven't broke something during the filming or at the end.
Really?
I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, yep, that's actually what's happened. You know?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, staying in shape's huge.
Yeah, man.
You know, especially as you get older. If you value skating and you love your skating and you want to keep doing it, you'll do anything it takes, like within reason, right, to keep doing that.
Yeah.
You know, and I love my skating, and I always have valued my skating. But as you get older, you have to definitely focus a lot more on the physical side of being able to do it, because it sucks to be in pain.
Yes.
And going out skating. Who wants to do that?
No.
You can see it in the dude when he's skating.
Yeah.
You can see the guys like, just struggling to, okay, I rode away from it. Okay, good, I'm good. I can smash my board and I'm good for a month. But that's not me. I've never been that guy. Like, I've always been the guy that skated a lot. And if I don't skate a lot, I tend to lose my focus.
Yeah.
So I've always skated regularly since I started skating. I've never been the guy that's taken like a year off or slowed down for a year. It's only injuries that have taken me out.
Right.
You know, and hopefully that says something about how I feel about skateboarding.
There you go.
To get all gushy on skateboarding, I enjoy it. I enjoy it, and I'm thankful that I'm 42 and not burnt out.
It's easy to get burnt out.
When you're not filming stuff, do you have a certain place that you usually skate, or just kind of go to skate parks? Or
I don't really like skate parks that much, you know?
It's hard to imagine you at a skate park for some reason.
I go early in the morning.
At the Huntington Beach Park.
I don't like white skate parks. I like graffiti in skate parks. I don't like
Okay.
how bright it is on my eyes in the mornings, right? Like
True.
I'd rather be out street skating. I'd rather be skating down the street, like grinding a red painted curb, than I would be in a skate park skating a ledge that's been waxed.
Or
Or
just
a mech ledge. I want to grind and when I skate regularly myself, I actually just kind of skate outside wherever I'm at.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I was looking at spots before I came in here off Manchester Avenue.
Yeah,
See all
yeah.
those curb cuts? Like, all the routes they're going. I'm like, dude, that look good.
Wait a minute, you're looking for curb cuts now instead of huge hubbas? What's going on?
But you asked how I skate every day. That's how I skate. Like, I pretty much I like to street skate outside. I don't need to go somewhere and train.
Sure.
Like, I go outside and I street skate and I skate alone a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I like,
just enjoy the ride.
more just do the same thing I did when I first started skating.
In Liverpool.
In Liverpool,
Yeah,
England.
there you go. There you go.
In beautiful, lovely, sunny Liverpool, England.
You see any of the Beatles out there? Did you?
No, I went to the same school as John Lennon.
Did you?
The original name for my school was Quarry Bank, and the original name for the Beatles was the Quarrymen.
Okay.
Which was, John was the original band member with a few of them.
Sure.
But they went to my high school, and then, I used to, get lunch on Penny Lane. And I used to ditch school in Strawberry Fields, the back of
No,
my
you
school.
didn't.
A lot of the stories for the Beatles came, a lot of the writing come from John Lennon.
And it's
he grew up
around town.
right on my doorstep
Right.
where I grew up.
In the barber shop out there,
Um,
What was the song, The Barber?
I don't know that one. You've got me confused.
Mm.
But a lot of what he wrote about was right on my doorstep where I grew up, so I related to a lot of what they were saying.
How
so
crazy is that?
It's so
the biggest group ever, and you live right in the same town. And
I
everywhere
went to
you
the
go,
same school as Lennon.
same
My dad went to the same school as Paul McCartney.
Really?
Yeah, Lemmy used to take trains from North Wales to go and see the Beatles and go to
No
the Cavern.
way.
And when I first met Lemmy from Motorhead, I don't know whoever's watching this, you probably don't even know who Motorhead is. Right? You should. Okay, they invented rock and roll. They invented heavy rock and roll, pre-Black Sabbath.
right.
Everything. In fact, arguably, Jimi Hendrix. Right? Was the first heavy metal.
Sure.
He played really heavy rock and roll, and Lemmy was his roadie.
Right.
He used to score
really?
drugs for him and score women for him.
There you go.
What?
Wow, not
Yeah,
a bad
but
job.
when I first met Lemmy, that was the first conversation.
Oh, really?
You're from Liverpool, right? Where about in Liverpool? About a mile and a half south of the city. Oh, I used to take a train there and get off at this train station and walk from here to here. I'm like, yeah, no, I grew up there. But he loved it. And the first thing he told me was John Lennon's so punk. He was so punk. He wouldn't take any crap from anybody in the crowd.
Really?
He was really respectful. Like if anyone screwed with a girl or anybody in the crowd, he would stop and like call the dudes out.
Wow.
He was apparently live like that at that stage when they were young. Amazing. And he influenced Lemmy, who's the first
That's
heavy rock and
amazing.
roll and heavy metal musician on the planet, was influenced by the Beatles.
That's what it is. The barber Penny Lane. There was a barber shop.
Penny
and
Lane.
There's a barber shop.
There was a
there.
barber
Yeah,
shop
same.
there, and also that's where Sgt. Pepper's came
Sgt.
from. That was like a
Pepper's.
little bistro
Yeah.
kind of thing at the
Yeah.
end of Penny Lane.
Oh,
That was where I would go and get school lunch every single day. I would get a sausage roll from the
sausage
bakery.
roll.
Yeah.
Any black pudding?
No, I wasn't
No,
a
you
huge black
was-
pudding
oh,
fan. Black
okay.
pudding's good from the right place.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Never really appealed to me, but
What's
It's
black
like-
pudding?
Oh
Oh,
god,
it's a mixture of meats and fats and just
blood.
yeah,
Blood.
basically in a sheath like a sausage would be, like a casing,
Yeah.
and then it's sliced and it gets cooked different ways. But
All
it's actually
right.
pretty good. It's got spices and everything.
Yeah.
It's something that's very Scottish.
Have you ever gone and taken a photo at the Crosswalk, the famous album cover?
The Abbey Road
yeah,
stuff?
the Abbey
I
Road.
haven't
no,
actually,
you haven't.
no. No, I haven't.
Taking your shoes off and maybe
No, I mean,
taking
I'm a
photo over there.
fan. I'm a fan of the Beatles,
Yeah.
but I'm a fan of John Lennon more than I am like
Yeah.
the whole band. I like Lennon, I like George Harrison. I
Oh,
thought
yeah.
the melody from Paul McCartney was exceptional,
Mm-hmm.
right, and the songwriting, but the music, the writing, and like the connection to the culture for me was John Lennon. So I was influenced like from more by that than the whole band.
Man,
And George Harrison. George Harrison's
yeah.
freaking amazing.
they're all great.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, I'm not like I can't listen to Ringo Starr's music. Like,
No?
not really. Like he's incredible playing his music, but when he writes his own stuff, it's not my thing.
Not your
It's
thing.
Nah, it's loose. It's not really grounded, and like the Lennon thing always had a point of view, and you know what I mean. It
Sure.
always had a twist to it. And it was creative, and it was forward thinking. It was big thinking, and I liked that.
Yeah.
You know?
How did you even get started skating in Liverpool? I mean, I can imagine there wasn't really a big skate scene out there back then.
It was the late 80s I started. I'm not even sure what year, 88, 89,
88,
somewhere right
okay.
there, probably. And no, it wasn't a big scene. It was the tail end of like that whole Santa Cruz Powell kind of generation,
Sure.
you know? So, the first video that I saw, the first person I saw skate on like a modern skateboard was like this punker dude that went to my school, and he had like a green mohawk, and he had like a denim jacket, and he had like Overkill and freaking all kinds of heavy metal band patches on the back of
Right.
it, and and he had a pair. I think he had a pair of like some high tops, some old. They weren't Converse. They
No.
were old Airwalks, I think they were, and. Yeah, I saw him skating around. I'm like, whoa, dude! Like, look, I'd seen a guy with a mohawk before with denim jacket, and heavy but I hadn't seen a skateboard with all that color.
Yeah. Oh.
Right, and I can't even remember what board it was. I know he had bullets because they were bright pink bullets, pink
Okay.
and yellow, so 2 pink and 2 yellow. I remember seeing those, going, dude, I've never seen like a skateboard like that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like so much graphic and so much color to it that like I wanted to see a bit more.
Sure.
I'd never seen a skateboard. It was a modern skate. I'd never seen one.
How old were you at the time?
12. I
12.
think.
Yeah.
And so I seen him skating around. I knew that dude. I knew him from before he skated. So I think I like probably saw what he was doing, seen him a couple more times around, and like wanted to get a skateboard. And a couple of friends of mine had just got a skateboard, and I couldn't afford one, so I rode like basically a combination of what I could find from people that I knew that might have skate stuff.
Okay.
And a guy that did lighting for music that was a friend of my mother's. He worked next door to my mother. My mother worked in a bakery, and he had like an old skateboard that he gave my mother. It only had one truck on it, 2 wheels, and it was a G&S Fiberflex from the 70s. It was a freaking Fiberflex skateboard. And so I tried to recycle that, get some like cheap trucks from wherever and put them on the board. And my dad painted the board and whatnot. And that was the first board I had, and that was like a few months before like the Christmas. And for Christmas, I said I want a skateboard, because once I started riding around, I realized that my board was not up to par with the next dudes. I had no grip tape, for example, and it was a fiberglass board, and
just slipping around.
And so I just took some like crappy like old, banana skateboard trucks and just freaking threw them on it and rode them for a bit, and they just didn't work. Couldn't do any tricks. And that was like, those boards were like 9 inches at that time, right? Like your regular board. So I felt like inferior to my friends. So I waited a couple months, got my first board for Christmas, and I bought it there was no skateboard shops in town.
Okay.
Like the nearest skate shop was probably like 30 miles away, and I didn't even know about it then. So I have no way of finding out where the nearest skate shop was. There was no internet. There was no magazines that would tell you. How would you find it?
Right.
How? And so I went into the city, and I knew that they sold a couple of skateboards in this record shop called Probe Records. It was a record collector shop.
Oh, interesting.
And it was a famous kind of like iconic store in Liverpool. It was like 2 doors away from the Cavern, which is where the Beatles would play.
Oh, wow.
And it was called Probe Records. Same building, super old, like Georgian style building. So I went in there with my dad to buy my Christmas present, like pre-Christmas. And they had 3 boards in there. And they had a Skull Skates, Dead Guys. So Google that one, Skull Skates, Dead Guys. It had a picture of Elvis. It had Gigi Allen. It had like a couple of like famous rock stars on the bottom.
Okay.
I think it had Elvis too. And it was just called the Skull Skates, Dead Guys, black and white board, right? They had that on the wall. They had this Toxic Team board, which was all these Toxic logos, which was a skate company from back then. And there was one other board. I can't remember what it was. They had 2 hats in there. They had a Thrasher painter's cap.
Okay.
So you know what a painter's cap?
Yeah,
the cheapest hat you could buy.
Yeah.
They had a Thrasher painter's cap, a Skull Skates cap. They had 4 hangers, so 4 trucks in the whole store. They had 2 gull wings. One was blue, one was yellow. And they had 2 other trucks, which were Renali trucks, which were the worst looking, sketchiest trucks on the planet. They had 1 set of NMB bearings. They had 2 sets of wheels. They had some Alva Naturals. They had Alva Naturals, which are still like, they were so sick. They were a great wheel. And then they had OJ Team Riders. And they had no grip tape.
Anything else?
So, well, I'm telling you what I had to choose from.
Yeah.
I'd never been in a skate shop before, and it wasn't a skate shop. It was a record shop. And the guy treated you like a guy would, in a record collecting shop, would treat a 12-year-old kid like you were a piece of crap and you didn't know anything, which I didn't know anything. I didn't even know anything about music at the time, so I had no right even being in the store.
Okay.
And
apparently they didn't know much about skateboards.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. What do? You look on the wall with your dad. Your dad grew up basically playing soccer his whole life. Like he had no idea what a good skateboard looked like.
Right.
And we put together a complete from that. I bought a Toxic Team board because it was the brightest looking board. In hindsight, I should have bought the Skull Skates Dead Guys.
There you go.
Right. I bought the right trucks, 2 Goldwing trucks, a blue one and a yellow one, because I was not going to buy those Renalis that looked, I don't even know what they look like. I picked the OJ Team Riders, which was a good choice because they were great urethane, right? And I got NMB burns and no grip tape. I had no grip tape on the board that I had for 2.5 months until they got the grip tape in the shop. And it had a red wood stain on the top, and I skated the board till I wore through the wood stain.
Whoa.
Wore through the wood stain on the top of the board.
Like it was getting white.
It was
because I was skating without grip tape for months in the winter in England. I was so excited that I had such a beautiful board. The tape did not even matter.
Right.
Wasn't even questioned. I didn't even go out and go, hey, I need some grip tape. I can't do this trick. It was not even that. It was like, let's do this.
Yeah. You didn't even think about like sandpaper or something you could put on there.
No, not really. Like I didn't know what I was doing. Right? Like I'm not going to glue sandpaper.
And the shop finally got grip tape, and you went back and got the.
I got the grip tape later. Date, yeah.
Wow. Was it Mob or Jessup? It
was sandpaper with super glue.
So you're skating around now. You got your grip tape. You got and you must have had a bunch of buddies now skating.
A few. I mean, like a few of us start skating in the area that I grew up in, and I lived like outside of the city in the suburbs, like a couple of miles outside of a mile and a half, 2 miles south of like the city centre of Liverpool.
Gotcha.
And it's like south. Liverpool's on the coast. It's an old port. Looks like Long Beach in an English way.
Okay.
Kind of thing. It was a very, very, very busy port during like the slave trade and different periods of time, like the Georgian period. It has, I'm not sure, next to London, it has more Georgian buildings that are heritage buildings than any other city in the country. I do believe.
Huh. Okay.
It's got a lot of history.
Wow.
You know, a lot of the supplies during the Second World War, at the tail end of the Second World War, when Britain was pretty much beaten and Europe was pretty much beaten, and our resources were stretched. A lot of the food and supplies for the country was coming through Liverpool, unbeknownst to Germany and the Nazi regime.
Interesting.
So they didn't bomb it enough, but they bombed it at the tail end of the war, and so as it's very, very historical city, it's got a lot. It's visually and culturally very, very diverse.
Okay.
It's got a a Chinatown. Like San Francisco would have. It has that, and it has the city around the surrounding area of the city is very culturally diverse. So I did grow up with that, and it is different to a lot of other places in the country. It's unique.
Yeah.
And it definitely was made me who I am.
Sure. I can imagine,
my environment, like it was different.
Yeah, I've never been to Liverpool.
It's rad. Like you'd be welcomed with open arms. The skate scene's always been good.
It's good.
Yeah.
Well, like from London, how far is Liverpool?
When we were growing up, it would take us about 4.5 hours on the train. Now you can get there in like 2.5 hours or something on the train. So it's not far from London. But London's not the epicenter of the world, right?
Sure,
like Liverpool's a big city, and it's an awesome city. And if you wanted to go there, you'd fly probably to Manchester, which is 25 miles or so away, and then you just half an hour you'd be in Liverpool.
That's okay, yeah.
You know,
oh, so you said you're the skate scene out there, your buddies.
Yeah,
you had a little crew out there.
Yeah, I mean, we at first it was
Mohawk
like
guy.
the Mohawk. The Mohawk
did you become
guy.
friends with the Mohawk guy?
I'm still friends with the
Oh, you
Mohawk
are?
guy.
Okay.
Yeah, I seen him
Wow.
maybe less than a year ago. Last summer, he walked past my parents' house. I'm like, whoa, new house. How are you? It's been a while.
Did he still have the Mohawk?
No, he doesn't.
No, he's okay.
No.
Dude,
that was a phase.
That's amazing.
Thought maybe he went from green to purple.
Yeah.
or
So I
something.
know a lot of the people that I grew up with, our skate scene was really good in Liverpool. Like we didn't really like vibe each other.
Okay.
Like it was accepting.
Yeah.
You know, and we had like guys that were like I've always been into like more rock and roll and like punk music kind of like personally, but I like everything. I'm a fan of musician. I like old country, like I like a lot of different styles. But in our skate crew that we grew up in, you'd have dude with mohawk,
Sure.
dude with dreads,
Oh, yeah.
dude that's a hip hop guy, dude that's a heavy metaler.
Okay.
And we're all the same.
Yeah,
we have
of
a common
course.
goal: skateboarding.
Sounds
Right.
like a bigger team.
I always remind myself of those things. Like I have kids, but I always remind myself of those things. Of like when skateboarding's great, it's really freaking great. Like for culture,
Yeah.
right. And at that period, I'm thankful that our local skate scene, like we had good dudes.
There you go.
It's fortune, right?
Yeah.
Like we didn't get to choose or pick those paths, but a lot of guys that started skating in the area that I grew up in still skate.
Yeah. That's amazing.
And so we started in where I lived, in the suburbs. I had a little crew of dudes that went to our high school that skated. There was a handful of us, and we were different ages,
Okay.
right?
yeah.
So like you had one skated, maybe two more in my year,
Right.
right? And like one of them skated a little bit and the other one skated a lot. So I wasn't like surrounded by skaters. In fact, we were on an island at that time, and like we were victimized every chance that that the opposing side would get, they would take it. And that was definitely a different time, and we'd be skating down the street and people are just screaming outside the side of the car like skateboard dickheads.
Oh, really?
Skateboard dickheads. That's what they would call us, skateboard heads or skateboard dickheads.
Wow.
That was it. It always sticks in my head. I can just hear it out of the side of a car. Skateboard dickheads, break your leg. Like,
Damn.
Wow.
but it was like that then.
Yeah.
It wasn't no one,
They weren't yelling, do a kickflip.
Well, your average person didn't know what that was.
Yeah,
They'd
yeah,
never
yeah.
seen it, and like that was all developing. It was still new to skating
That's
too,
right.
So, but yeah, definitely small scene, and then from there, like we started going into the city. So I'd take the bus. I was 12 years old, right? I'm taking the bus into the city center to start skating. I remember, how I started doing that. I started going on Saturday morning,
Okay.
right after I played soccer, not before.
Oh, you'd wake up, go play soccer.
Yeah, I played soccer. I played a lot of different sports. I played soccer for my school, and I played soccer for a Sunday league team called the APH, the Egbert People's Hall.
Oh.
And so I played on that team on Sunday morning, and I played for the school games on a Saturday morning. So when I started skating, that was the first thing that was like a barrier. I grew up playing soccer. Like I'm going to call it soccer, but it's really football. It's the truth. I'm on the 9 Club right now with a skate audience. I can tell you how it is.
Yeah.
Football, aka soccer, football. It's called football. Okay.
I always trip out why they renamed. It's
confusing.
We have football over here where you use your hands, right?
But the
football over there, you're using your foot. Makes
since the 1800s.
Yeah.
Football.
Right.
The football that you play over here is a little bit later. Am I right? Last 100 years.
I mean, I'm not a big...
way later, yeah.
Just what I'm saying. So it was already a game.
Yeah. But here, we have to like change everything, and it's weird, you know? What position did you play?
I was a left winger. I was the first team I played for. They put me in left back, which was not the right position for me. Like I'm not a big kid, dude. Like, but I wasn't super fast. I wasn't super strong, but I could tackle. I had decent control of the ball, and I could put it in the net given the opportunity. But I wasn't fast. Right, so if you make me cover too much ground, I'm not going to put it in the back of the net.
Right.
And they played me left back for the first 2 years. It was a bad position for me, and then they put me left winger, and I scored, and I started scoring from there.
Oh, there you go.
So that was kind of the position I played. I was like left attack, so up front, in the middle, on the left side, or hard left winger.
Interesting.
But I would go and play football for the school on Saturday morning. Those games would be at like 8:30 in the morning or 9:30 in the morning, right? So I'd go and play. I'd come home. And then basically put my skate shoes on, take my shin pads out of my socks, change my t-shirt, and go into the city with soccer shorts on, soccer socks on, and whatever shirt that I had, a skate shirt and a pair of like skate shoes. And I started doing that on the weekends, and after a bit I'm like, I just want to skate more.
Right.
So I then stopped playing soccer for like the school football, sorry. Should we call it soccer from now on so it doesn't get confusing? No. Football. Round ball.
Round, you kick it with your feet.
Yeah.
Globally most expansive and powerful sport in the world. So I had to put the soccer and football aside.
Yeah.
Which was kind of a gnarly like place growing up, and I used to sleep with the ball.
Seriously, did you have a pillow for that one?
I was
a ball and a board in bed.
Before the skateboard, it was a ball.
Right.
Yeah, and like I was so into it. That's
and it's huge. I mean, I bet your parents were happy. You know, everybody.
My dad was a huge footballer. I grew up going to watch my dad play. He managed teams. So on Saturday, I would go and sit in the car and watch from the car window. I'd come on the sidelines and I'd have my packed lunch. And I'd watch my dad play, or he managed for years, my whole life. And I'd go to the pub with everybody afterwards, like 9 years old, trying to skim money off like the dudes that were, the guys on the team, so I could play the slot machines or like buy a Coke or something, like totally innocent. But like so putting that aside was a big deal. I think it was a big deal for my dad, because like he watched me idolize and grow up just wanting to do that like religiously, and then here I am finding something else that I like to do, that I'm putting that aside,
and it's not really a known thing.
My dad was a very good football player, like incredible. He really was a very good footballer. My uncle played for England and Derby County, so we grew up in a very like big football family, and he wanted to be a professional footballer. That's what my dad wanted to do, and he played semi-professional, and he ended up putting that aside when his father passed away, and so I think it was a big deal for me to put that aside. Did you ever have
the discussion with him, or was he?
Yeah, a little bit. It got to like it comes to the weekend, and I go, okay, I'm not going to play anymore for the school team. I'm still going to play on the Sunday for the local team because we've been playing for years with the same guys. When the Saturdays went, that was the start of it, and like I would go skate at 8 a.m.
Right.
I would go to my friend's house at 7:30, and we would take a bus at 8 a.m. into the city, and we would skate till it went dark.
Wow.
And then we'd take the bus home and then go skate in the evening.
Damn.
Like a lot of skating. You forget, like when you're a little kid, you're skating for like 8 hours and you want more.
Yeah.
You're stopping because somebody's chaining you up.
Exactly.
And that's kind of what happened. It went for me like pretty much from football straight into every waking moment that I have, I want to do this thing,
Right.
And there's a life to it. Like I can hang out with the same guys in the night when I'm not skating with them, and I like them.
Yeah.
And they think the same way that I do, where like, I don't know, maybe they enjoy the creative side of the skate that we're not getting anywhere else. They like to release away from their family life or away from I don't know, just big city life.
Being out in the city,
Being out in the city and like
adventure.
Yeah, I mean, we all had different upbringings, but man, skating is what kind of, I don't know, I think, and at that time, like, it was special, man. It was something different, and like it appealed to me, and I think a lot of my friends, we just got stuck on it.
Yeah. Did your dad finally support the move from football to skating?
He always supported me. I just think he like was scratching his head, you know, like at that time, adults didn't understand.
Sure.
They're not going to look and go, oh, there's a career there.
Right.
And I wasn't even pursuing a career in skate. I just wanted to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I didn't know what I wanted in life at that age.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what kid does?
No.
Yeah,
You know,
no.
like,
True.
But you're just following your passion. You're following what you loved.
yeah, totally.
And then, go ahead. Sorry.
How old were you when you like stopped playing football and started skating?
Probably 13, 14
Oh,
years. So I started
like a
right when I
year.
turned like 12, 13 years old, I think is when I started skating. Like, I think 13 years old. So within a year, you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I'd like
It just took
X'd
over.
it. I took over.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like crazy, you know, and I played cricket too.
Oh, you cricket?
Yeah, I played cricket.
I never understood
Wow.
cricket. Kind of
Nice.
like baseball, but it's a little...
it's like baseball.
yeah.
It's like, but the rules are different, but
Sure.
essentially the same. You're
Yeah.
getting runs, you have innings, you know, you have
Okay.
different bowlers and batters, and you rotate them.
right.
But the field is like
It's
360
huge.
degrees, isn't it? Like you can hit it backwards, can't you?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
never understood it, but I always tripped out on that.
Yeah, the boundary is the edge of the whole field,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you
Yeah.
hit it outside of that boundary without it touching the floor, you get 6 points, a six. If you hit it to the boundary and it's hit the floor before it hits the boundary, you get 4 points. So your goal as a batter is to thump it, right? And if you can't thump it somewhere where the catchers can't grab it, and you can run backwards and forwards and get the same points anyway. So that's the goal. So I played that with my school, and our school still has like an unbeaten record in the whole of the UK.
Wow.
It only got beaten twice in 2 years.
No way.
At the finals of all of the schools in the whole of the country. Hardball cricket, we lost in the semi-finals of the softball, so with the tennis ball, and then we lost in the finals with a corgi, which is the true cricket ball.
Okay.
And
No
my
dog.
school, it's called Sudley Junior School, still holds a record from frickin', I don't even know when that was, I don't even know.
You
Late 80s.
You were a part of it.
I played for the team the whole time. I was at all of those games, and a couple of them went on to play professional.
Did they have a picture of you in the hallway?
I have a picture
Yeah?
I can share with you.
Okay.
That's awesome.
So I played a lot of games. You know what I
Sure,
mean? I did
yeah.
a cross country run too.
But skating just took over, man.
Yeah.
It's great. And then what did you, when did you start realizing, you were getting good? And I mean, the sponsorship thing, I feel like there's a certain point where kids growing up are like, you know what, there's something here. I can do this.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
what you're saying. I didn't have quite have the confidence to I felt like that, but I didn't quite have the confidence to go there. Right?
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
First skate video I saw was Savannah Slammer. It was half of a photocopy of a video copy of another VHS copy of someone's ass that was photocopied that was then turned into a video. It was half the video.
Sure.
And I bought it for £5 off a friend of mine who was friends with the guy that was the punker.
Okay.
And the guy's name was Gobbo because he looked like a complete just animal,
Okay.
like an oaf, like an
Gobbo.
ogre, like Shrek. He looked like that, but he was the best dude. I bought it from him. And that was my first exposure to skating, right? Like
Okay.
a sponsored skater, a pro skater. I watched
Right.
Savannah Slammer 3 with all of the best legendary guys that are
Sure.
still legends and doing the same skating now.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they had Gons in the video, Lance Mount and Eric Dress and,
Yes.
Bill,
Mike V doing his
Bill
fake yollie
Danforth, Mike Vallely
Yeah.
doing fake yollies to tail on like bench height ledges
Yep.
in the 80s. You had Gons doing switch airs out of jump ramps.
Yeah.
You had Bill Danforth with an incredibly unique style, pushing Mongo foot. I liked him.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
So that was my first exposure. So I'm looking at that going, whoa, I didn't know that this was what it looked like. Like I'd never seen video. I'd never seen visual. I'd just
Yeah.
seen a skateboard. I didn't know what you could do in it.
And you and your buddies just,
Yeah, and they were doing bonelesses and jumping off walls. I didn't know what the tricks were called. I didn't know what they were doing, and I had no idea. And I saw that video, and I think that was the start of it.
that was it.
Yeah, like to where like, I like this. I really like this. I like where this is going.
Okay.
Like looking back, that's how I felt.
Yeah, for
You know,
sure.
but
Like you
I-
want to be a part of this.
I want to be a part of
Yeah.
it. That's it. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I'm good enough to do it. I don't know if I have the ability to do it. I don't know anything. I just want to do it, and I'm going to keep doing it, and I'm going to That's it.
That's it.
And even up to being sponsored and like that, like we had a lot of amazing skaters from my hometown. England at that period had some great skateboarders.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and some of them are still around and some of them took different paths.
Sure.
You know, so you weigh yourself up to like the guy next to you, right? All you know, your environment.
Right.
And my environment was very talented skateboarders.
Wow.
That skated different too. You know, like have you ever heard of Howard Cook?
Yeah.
Rode for Consolidated,
Yep.
right? Incredible skater.
Yeah.
Rad style, great style, very aggressive style, very slashy and very kind of like, I don't know, just a real pure, raw style. And he was the same age as me and grew up in the city, but didn't really skate like me.
Okay.
I was fired up by that.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, so like I was fortunate that like I was around a lot of like different styles of skaters that really, really pushed me,
Sure.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
without knowing it.
But that's what
we
it's
were
all about,
pushing each
though.
other.
Yeah.
Like that dude, he couldn't do certain things I could do. I couldn't skate the way he could skate, but I liked it and I wanted to do it. So I tried,
Yeah.
you know? So I think that helped a lot of like progression, motivation, confidence.
Yeah.
But it was definitely like, I don't know if I'm good enough to be sponsored. I didn't know any of that until I got a free board. And even when I got a free board, I didn't know if I was good enough. Like it felt strange to me. It was a new concept, you know?
Who gave you a free board?
My first board was a Deathbox skateboard.
Deathbox?
Yeah, I got
Okay.
sponsored by Deathbox first.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, were they just in the area or how did you, I mean, you're not filming Sponsor Me videos.
A friend of mine sent a Sponsor Me video. If I remember rightly, the guy who videoed it, he made like a school project.
Okay.
And a school video project, he filmed everyone in the city, Liverpool, so all our skaters. So he made like a video part for me for his school project, along with a video part with a few other dudes from the city.
Wow.
And if I remember rightly, I think he sent that directly. I think. Can't
Really?
remember. It was a long time ago. He sent that to Deathbox, and then they flowed me some boards. And
That's awesome.
He kind of like went from there.
And then, so you got the board and you didn't think you were deserving.
I did honestly.
I mean, a free board though.
Free board, psych.
Yeah.
Right. Free board. I got a free board, a pack of 10 stickers, and one T-shirt, and grip tape.
Grip tape.
2 sheets of grip, maybe. Can't remember.
Seems like grip tape's the hardest thing to get out there.
I was thankful.
Okay, yeah.
I was thankful. And I remember taking it in the room and showing my dad. Right, like, and he's like, free gear. Don't have to buy it.
Don't have
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, but even then, like, I don't know. I even feel like that right now. Like, I'm pretty like analytical of my own shit, right? I'm a little hard on myself, and I was then. So if I'm honest, like where I was thinking, I wasn't 100% thinking much. I was a kid, and I was trying to figure out being comfortable,
Right.
in my skin.
Yeah, of course.
It was the primary focus, really, you know, and skating was my vehicle, right?
Yeah.
My vehicle to go out and be around the people I want to hang out with, and you know, listen to the music I want to listen to, because that was a big deal too at that age. Like when I started skating, I started, you know, watch that first Savannah Slammer and the music on it. That's not music you're going to hear on the radio back then.
No.
Right.
It's not music you're going to hear on the radio now.
Right.
Like, you know, except Thrasher radio. Sorry for that. Fuck. But yeah, the drunk engines. That music, it was skate music, came from skateboarding.
Yeah.
And it was good.
Yeah.
I liked it. So like I started to listen to a lot of like music that was on skate videos, you know,
Yes.
Dinosaur Jr., Black Flag, Minutemen.
I think that's how we all like.
We all did, but
Yeah.
that's why I kept doing it. Like, because I was 12, 13, 14, 15, going into your teenage years, listening to a lot of music, hanging out a lot, like, right? Like you're the music plays a huge thing. Like, you know, the people you're around and all of that, like you surround yourself with that. And
You're immersed.
You're immersed in
Yes.
it. But that definitely was like what kept me wanting to keep doing it.
Sure.
Like it was an exploration. Yeah, it's an adventure.
And then how did the Deathbox thing, because you eventually rode for Deathbox.
I rode for Deathbox pretty much from then, I think.
From
I was
then?
getting flowed stuff, and I went down to London shortly after that, took a train. And bear in mind, I'd never been to London at that time.
Oh.
And I didn't know anybody in London.
Okay.
I'd skated Liverpool, which was the city that I grew up in, and I've traveled to one or two towns outside of there to like a skate contest or like to a skate park in the middle of a field, in the middle of a field that's 8 miles away from a freaking bus stop, and you have to walk there. Like I'd done that and camped out a lot, and done a lot of that, but I hadn't traveled to any of the major cities outside of Liverpool and Manchester, really.
Okay.
Just because I was a kid.
Sure.
Skating, that was. So that was a big deal. I went down to London and met the owner of Deathbox then and Alex Mole.
Oh, Alex
who's
Mole.
a great skateboarder from England. I'd never met Alex. I was a fan of Alex, and I knew he was a great skater from the pictures I'd seen in the English skate mags.
Mm-hmm.
And when I met him, he was just as an amazing person.
Sure. So now this whole new world's opening up for you.
London.
Yes.
They didn't like me though.
They didn't like what? How could they not like you? Come on.
That's not quite fair to say, but at that time in skating in the 90s, like it was pretty vibey.
Yeah.
And I'm from I was coming from kind of a rural city that was known for, at the time it had like the highest unemployment rate, it had the highest teenage pregnancy rate and the highest crime rate in the country. It was late 80s, end of like Margaret Thatcher era, which was a prime minister that was fairly aggressive. And so there was a lot of unemployment. And so if I traveled to London, which was a metropolitan city, I was looked at as being like from a rougher town.
Okay.
You know, maybe might steal something from somebody. Like we had that reputation. And like at that age in the 90s in skating, it was vibey.
Yeah,
it wasn't all cool. Quite a lot of it was bullshit.
Yeah.
Like straight up, like a lot of it was bullshit, and it's not the reason why I got into skateboarding. And I was really fortunate that the scene in Liverpool, we didn't even buy into that.
Okay.
We were all influenced by like, you know, the whole EMB thing.
Yes.
Like we were hugely influenced by it from the skating, but I don't think the people in our city really had that. Like there was attitude with some of those dudes from that period. Like we didn't have that. But London had it with some of their skaters where they were too cool for school.
Okay.
And like I grew up accepting.
Much different, yeah.
That was the first thing I noticed going to London, skating at South Bank. I went straight to the train station next to South Bank and went and skated South Bank.
Wow.
Like the first time I went to London. So I skated the stairs there and did a backside 360 ollie, I think, down those 6 or 7 stairs then. But I remember just going there and everyone I looked at would just like not really look at me. Like, and it wasn't because I was a little kid. They weren't scared that I was this just gnarly dude that was going to beat them up from a rough town. It was more like, it was quite a vibey time in skating. If you didn't know a dude and he was skating your local spot, you might not really say hello to him because that person that was having that vibe was probably 15 years old, like in hindsight, or 14 years old. But that's what I got. I didn't have the best experience my first time I went to London.
Oh, so you didn't like it?
I put my head down. The skate spots were great. I put my head down and I skated, and that's what we knew in Liverpool. Put your head down, go to town, go full speed. And like, if they don't like it, they can fucking suck my ass. You know? And that's how we felt about it. Like, and you had to be like that. Like growing up at that time in England, like every city had its moments. It was rough.
Were you going back and forth from Liverpool to London a lot then after that?
Yeah, periodically, yes. I would go down on the weekends and skate, you know, with some of the Deathbox guys on the weekends. You know, it might have been Alex Mole, it might have been Matt McMullen who rode for them at the time, and whoever was around, and then the owners of Deathbox and those guys.
Okay. Yeah.
So they took care of us at that time.
Nice. So you'd go hook up with Alex Mole. It sounds like he became close friends pretty quick.
To know Alex is to like Alex. Alex is a very likable person.
Sure.
And I love him to death, like a brother. I got like nothing but absolute, pure, unrelentless love for that person.
Yeah.
He's always been in my life and always been a positive person in my life, and I care about him, you know? And it's always been like, I always liked to be around him from day one, so I'll just say that.
Yeah.
I always enjoyed skating with him, and he's a fucking good skateboarder.
Yeah.
He was a great skater, and like at that time, like, it's rad to see him. He was, you know, that was a period before like skating was more global. You didn't have your top pros and they were from all different parts of the world. Like it hadn't grown to that point yet. Right. Alex was from England, and he was light years ahead of all of us at that time. Yeah. Like he was exceptional. Like he was a very good skateboarder, very unique skater, skated like nobody else. So you couldn't weigh him up to anybody else. That's what I liked about Alex.
Yeah.
I liked that he had a unique style, and I just liked the way that he did tricks, and he had incredible board control at the time. Yeah, he could manipulate his board, and he was doing tricks that I think in the videos we were watching, like he was doing tricks that they weren't at yet. He was doing backside nose blunts and frontside nose blunts like it was nothing. Every variation of both those tricks, like very consistently in the late 80s, early 90s. Yeah. Like he was very good.
Was he doing the late shove-its back then too? The kickflip late shove-its?
Not the kickflip late shove-its, but he was doing all kinds of late shove-it variations and like all kinds of like strange late flip body, virile, freaking. I don't know. Ask Alex.
Yeah, for sure.
You should get him on this.
That'd be amazing.
That'd actually be really cool. Alex Mole 9 Club.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
There you go. Was there a point in time now you're in the scene now and you want to come to the US? Is there a point in time where you're like, the US is where this is at. I got to get over there.
Yeah, I wanted to skate the skate spots I saw in the videos.
There you go. Right.
Like I wanted to go to the Carlsbad Gap. I wanted to go
Carlsbad. Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to go Carlsbad Gap. I wanted to see all the stuff that Chris Markovich skated. I wanted to see all the stuff that Matt Hensley skated, all the stuff that Danny Way skated. I wanted to see what it looked like.
Right. Yeah.
It's not that I wanted to do tricks at there. I wanted to see what it looked like to see if I could do tricks there. I had no idea I was a fan. So that's what I wanted, right? And like, I was in the same mindset. I was just shy of 18 years old, wanting to like pursue skateboarding and come and live in the US, whatever it took.
Sure.
And it took quite a bit. It was a year or two before we even moved. And I moved, with, a couple of guys, the guys that were started Flip Skateboards.
Yeah.
And they owned Deathbox Skateboards. So I flew out with them and...
Tom Penny, Room.
Well, it was before Tom and those guys came.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I flew out, and I was going to fly out no matter what. I'd waited long enough,
Determined.
I wanted to skate.
Yeah.
I was in England, and the last year of school, like I didn't sign on for another year of school because I thought I was moving to the US or going to go to America and try to skate.
Gotcha.
And see what happened for a couple of months or a couple of weeks or
sure.
Until my money ran out. And I had a lot of money. I bought my own flight and I had $153.
How would you?
In my pocket.
Were you mowing lawns? What was going on? How were you?
I was eating noodles and
saving your lunch money.
I didn't need to eat. I just needed to skate.
Sure.
What about
I can live 3 months with just water. Like I don't need food.
What about your parents though? Were they tripping out on you leaving at all, or?
They didn't know, and I didn't know. I didn't emigrate to America. I came to America, and I went home, and every time I came back, I stayed longer and stayed less in the UK and more in America every time I came back.
Okay.
So it was a we'll go in there, and we'll see what happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I kept coming back, and I liked it.
Yeah.
I wanted to skate. Like I'll be honest with you. Like thinking back, I lost my fucking buddies that I grew up skating with. I progressed so much from when I was like 13 to 16, like an animal.
Yeah.
Like I really felt like that. Like I was learning shit every fucking day.
Huh.
Because I had no distractions. I was done with school. So the 12 months before I came here, or the couple of years before I came to the US, I was like 110% skateboarding every freaking day.
So you were surpassing your buddies.
I was doing stuff I didn't like, just to do it without anyone there, and like I did a lot of that. I skated a lot.
Yeah.
So I was really driven when I came here. Right when I came here, I was demoralized. I wasn't skating good. I didn't feel confident. It just didn't feel right. Looking back.
Why?
I had no friends. I lost my environment that was what I enjoyed.
There you go.
I didn't know how to skate when the concrete was smooth. I only knew how to skate when it was a street spot. When I had obstacles to continuously deal with.
Yeah.
Like think about this, right? I get to the US. I went to Florida one at a time a year before for a week or two, right? I've never been to like California. I get to the US and I'm skating down the street. Every 6 foot, there's a line in the concrete.
Yeah.
Where they pour each section.
Yeah.
I'm riding down the street going da-dong, 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 da-dong. When do I ollie? Da-dong, da-dong, da-dong. What? I don't know when to pop.
Yeah.
Da-dong, da-dong, da-dong. I didn't know how to skate.
Totally different.
Totally different.
Crazy.
The floor.
Yeah.
Didn't know how to skate it.
What was it like back in England?
What you'd imagine, a big city, just like New York or Manhattan, just rough ground.
Yeah.
You find your sweet spots, and like when you go to a spot, you skate a certain ledge, you know where to take off.
Right.
Yeah.
You know where to land because you've had to wax it for 5 years straight to make it slide. I come here, everything slides. The skate spots everywhere.
Yeah.
Everything's smooth and perfect. I don't skate like that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Like, at the time I wasn't thinking that. At the time I was just thinking, go skate.
Yeah.
But if you look at my skating during that period, it was really just flat and one-dimensional. And I didn't progress for a year or two. I wasn't learning new tricks. And then when I started feeling, it was only really when I started skating with Ed Templeton, it really true. Like where I felt like, okay, I'm starting to skate the way that I want to skate.
Okay.
And I felt confident. I felt like I was starting to skate the way that I wanted to skate. And it was when he was filming like the Welcome to Hell.
Oh yeah,
Because I was out skating with them a lot, and like I finally found somebody that motivated me.
Right.
Liked the same music, liked to hang out in the night. We had a lot in common. You know, we were not far off in ages, kind of thing. And Ed was an outcast. He wasn't accepted by everybody, you know. And at that time, like I said, there was still vibes when you're coming into, like I moved to the US July 2nd, 1994. There was still tail end vibes.
Okay.
I skated with Jeremy Klein, I skated with Ed Templeton, and like those guys were like, I idolized both those guys, and everyone outside of like a California scene probably would just have said the same at that period.
Sure.
They were incredible, both of them. But when you know them and you're skating with them, like they had certain guys that they skated with, but they weren't, not everybody was accepting of that style of skating.
Right.
At that time, Smith grinds and feeble grinds were like old school. It's all about your crooked grind and nollie and into tricks and nollie heel flipping and progressing switch heel flips 2 inches off the ground. When Ed was skating 15 miles an hour doing a Smith grind 6 feet.
Right.
Yeah.
I liked that kind of skating. And like I grew up in an environment and a scene that there was dudes that skated like that. So to then find that in Southern California when I was, you know, just turned 18 years old and didn't have any friends was the basis of like really making me want to continue to skate, because I definitely wasn't super motivated for the first year or two living here, unbeknownst, until I started to feel comfortable and confident again. I remember it. I remember Ed getting in my car and he'd throw tapes out the window if he didn't like the music.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, he'd just get and go, what's that? Well, no, out of the window now. Boom, and he'd throw the tape away. That's not acceptable music. Thank you for doing that. I needed you to tell me that. I thought it was okay. I liked 2 of the tracks, but the rest of the albums suck balls. You were right. And like I got on with them and I liked them.
Yeah.
How did you end up meeting him, actually?
Where we moved, initially I stayed with Per Wellander, I think for the first, I can't even remember, whatever. For the first period of time I was in the US for a couple of weeks, couple of months, can't remember. And then we moved into an apartment, which, I can't remember how that went, but we moved into an apartment which was where all the flip guys lived, right? So we moved into that apartment and it was right next to Huntington Beach High School, and they were just building the Huntington Beach skate park.
Yeah.
So Ed lived across the road.
So your neighbors.
2 neighbors.
Yeah.
So he came over, and that's all I know. Like he came over on a bike, I think I remember, like an old school vintage bicycle. I'm like, nice bike. And yeah, that was it.
That was it.
Honestly, like, and I just started skating with Ed, and like, you know, at the time I was vegetarian, you know, and like, and I grew up with guys who, I grew up with game wardens and guys that like hunt and kill things their whole life, but I was vegetarian, and we had the same dietary choices for years, and like we listened to a lot of the same music, and I liked the way he skated. He motivated me.
Yeah.
You know, and he made me want to learn new tricks, and like I would do a trick and he would like make fun of me, and I needed that. We needed that. I needed that scene around me, because that's where I grew up with. I grew up with an accepting scene that was diverse, and so that's when I started to feel a little bit more confident.
Okay.
I started to learn tricks again.
Is this true that the first, when you came here, you moved here 94, you said, didn't you get the cover of Transworld within like 2 weeks of being here or something?
Yeah, the first time I went down to Transworld, I was in Transworld, and I was outside the front of Transworld skating the flat ground by the front entrance, skating the curbs and stuff like that out front for a while. And Dave Swift came out of the building and said, "Hey, you ride for Going, right?" Going is a truck company. Yeah. You ride for Going trucks, right? Yeah. You want to shoot an ad? Yeah. I don't know what that meant. I'm like, what? Like, yeah.
Sounds good.
Flowed
Sounds
some
fun.
trucks from Going from the US to England. Right, so I was sponsored. I had a couple of sponsors before I came here, and Going was one of them.
Okay.
And so I went. So I didn't know any spots, nothing. Okay, let's go skate. He took me to Oceanside High School, like Dave Swift did, and there was stairs there. There was like 13 stairs with a rail, and I skated the stairs. I pop shove it at the stairs, and I remember doing it. Like, I didn't know what I was skating. I was going to spot going, this is Dave Swift. I know that he's like the editor of Transworld magazine. He's a great photographer. Shit, man, what am I gonna do?
Gotta do something.
He's got to leave with the photo. He's got to leave with the photo.
Right.
But you didn't even think like that then, right?
Sure.
It's too early for that.
Yeah.
You're just like, okay, let's go skate, see what happens. And we skated the And like I did a pop shove it down the stairs, and I think I did it once or twice. And I'm thinking like I need to do this 25 times because he's shooting a picture. Every time he shoots the picture, I got to make it.
Right.
And so I did that, and then I
love
I got that trick, and then I started to try the 360 kickflip it. And while I was trying it, I think I'd made one, but I wanted to do another one. Alfonso Rawls showed up.
Wow.
Yeah, with Winkle. Thomas Winkle.
Wow. Okay.
Right, and with Jimmy Chadwick.
Wow.
And Danny Mayer.
No
it was
way.
a vert skater.
Winkle was around back then?
It was Natural Skateboards. Remember was it Natural? Was that what it's
Natural,
called?
yeah.
Natural, right.
Yeah.
They all rode for Natural. I think Swift had called them and said, yeah, we're skating here. Come over. I'm with this dude.
Now, was this intimidating for you at all? Or?
Alfonso Rawls. Fuck yeah. Right? He showed up while I was mid-skating it. And like they kind of sat down on the side while I was skating to make me feel even more comfortable. Thank you guys. Yeah.
Now you have an audience.
Skate with me, not at me. Jake Phelps.
There you go.
Right?
Yes.
I'm going to mention him whenever he comes into my head because he's watching.
There you go.
So that's what happened, right? So I did the trick a few more times for Dave, and I was like trying to make it every single go. Right?
Tray flip.
Yeah. I did it a bunch of times.
Okay.
Right.
Wow.
And then Dave left. He said, hey, I'm going to go back to the mag and like I'm going to drop these photos off or whatever, and like you should just stay here and skate. I'm like, how? I'm going to get in. Alfonso will take you back later. So I stayed and skated with those guys at Oceanside for a little while longer, and then Alfonso drove me back in his BMW M3.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Wow.
And in the car, I remember I had a conversation with Alf, and he was so respectful and so well mannered. I've always loved the dude.
He's great.
Since that day, like with a passion. He's rad.
Yeah.
He didn't need to be nice to me. He didn't need to be as welcome, and he made me feel good. And he said nice stuff. He's like, you can ride for anybody doing stuff like that, is what he said. And it didn't mean anything to me because I didn't even know what I'd just done.
Wait, were you skating stuff like that back, like before you skated that stair? You were skating like 13 stairs. That was not normal back then.
It's pretty big.
We didn't, like where I grew up in Liverpool, we didn't have a lot of good ledges. We had a lot of stairs and a lot of old architecture. So we had a lot of gaps and stairs and drops.
So you were used to
and
jumping.
flat ground. Yeah, more so.
Yeah.
We just didn't have good ledges. We didn't have them.
Gotcha.
You know, not really. And the ones that we had, we skated into the ground. You know, so we had a couple of really good marble ledges that we'd learn all of our tricks on that would always slide.
Right.
But I skated more like rails and gaps a lot. And those couple of years before I came here, like I said, I still feel like that was my most progressive period. You know, and I always watch kids now. Like I'm a huge fan of skating. Like I watch I go online looking and watching new and old skate stuff regularly because I'm a fan. But that period when you're like 13 to 16 years old, if everything clicks, you can progress at such an unprecedented rate that you would have a hard time doing it any other time in your life.
Sure. Yeah.
If the focus is there, you know, and, you know, so I watch that with like kids that pop up, you know, they come up and they're like 16 years old. I'm watching them and okay, I'm watching how their pop develops. Yeah. Right, because I remember when I was 15, 16 years old, I felt like I could ollie much higher than I can ollie now. Yeah. Much higher. Because everything clicked. Sure. Right, like and at that point.
But Alfonso, did you remain friends with him after that moment?
Well, I didn't know him, right? So he dropped me off at Swift's house and I just appreciated that. And like I was a fan of his growing up, watching like all the stuff he did in those old HD videos. And he was always underrated, always. Yeah. He's fucking great, he had a great style. He was a great street skater too.
Incredible skater. Yeah.
So I was just a fan of his. So when I met him to find out that he was a solid dude. Yeah. And he was accepting of a little kid that he'd never met before that skated. I appreciate that. Yeah. You know, and so like I always respect that. Well, I always respect him as a skater and as a person just in general, but I will always remember that moment.
That's amazing.
Wow, yeah.
That I love it. Everybody loves Alfonso Rowley. Yeah, I mean, you can come out with a video part today and it would be incredible.
He looked like he was 16 years old.
Yeah, he's a young looking guy.
He's got that Appleyard look, right? Like he steps on his board and he just looks good.
Looks good.
Yeah. Straight up.
So what happens? The magazine comes out or something and you're on the cover of it? I mean...
Yeah, the magazine came out and like... I remember picking it up and it just didn't make any sense to me. It didn't make absolutely any sense.
The tray flip was on the cover.
I didn't value me or my skating. I was probably like self-destructive.
Okay.
You know? But yeah, like I didn't get it. I didn't feel like I was deserving. I didn't feel like... And deserve is such an interesting word, right?
Yeah.
Like... I felt like I just came to the US. I didn't know anyone. I was on the cover of the biggest mag that I grew up wanting to be in, right? Like I wanted to be in Thrasher and Transworld mag and like all the biggest mags, like, you know, as a little kid. And so to be on the front cover of the Transworld mag, I felt like I just didn't get it. I really didn't get it. I was really thankful. I'm really thankful to Dave for giving me the opportunity and then putting me in that place. You know that I had all the footage from that day and I gave it back to Dave Swift 12 months ago.
Oh, really?
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. I pulled the tapes from Transworld years later because I knew that they could go missing. And
That's true.
I needed them for something. I can't remember what it was. And I kept them and gave them back to Dave. The raw tapes from that day that he shot the cover of me on Transworld. So Dave has the raw tapes.
Who was filming?
Dave Swift.
Oh, so he was filming and shooting.
Yeah. We shot photos and then he filmed. I don't even remember, but he probably shot a photo, put the camera down, pulled the video camera up.
Right.
One at a time, one photo. Okay, sequence this go, and next one I'll take a still, and it was like that. All right, I think maybe video grab, maybe.
No, I couldn't have. No, on the cover.
The photo wasn't a video grab, but I was trying to remember. I think it ran as a sequence inside the mag, but I think it was a video grab sequence in the mag.
Oh, maybe the cover was that, and then the contents page.
And it was in
that.
a Transworld video or something, right?
Yeah.
So it was then.
But
no, it was weird.
It
It was totally weird to be on the front cover of Transworld mag, being from another country and like
You're here a couple weeks.
It was less than 2 weeks.
That's insane.
You know, it was the first time I ever went down to the magazine. And so that's a bit weird. And that was, again, like, it opened that door for the first year or two. I'm like, I didn't really know where I was at, you know? Like, this sounds ridiculous, but really I didn't. I really didn't. I was confused a little bit at that time because I'd made a move from North England to Southern California.
Yeah. Now you're on the cover of Transworld.
I'm on the cover of Transworld, and I don't know why, and I don't know what I'm doing.
But like you said, that must have opened the door because now here you are, this new kid in Southern California. You're on the cover of Transworld. I mean, opportunities must have.
Yeah, probably. They probably got some
who
people's
is this
attention.
kid?
I remember that. I remember just thinking, like, who is this guy?
Who's this guy?
Young chap from Liverpool, England.
It's Geoff Rowley.
yeah. But no, yeah. So
Then and then invasion began.
Well, Tom was absolutely explosive. He still is.
Tom Penny.
He still is. You know, he's still. But he there was that, but like I wasn't intimidated by the way that Tom skated. I grew up skating with Tom, and like I watched Tom evolve from skating mini ramps into skating flat ground into skating street, and like I watched him progress and learn and develop his street skating while I was full-time street skater.
Sure.
You know, in that stage myself where I was jumping down things, and like Tom wasn't like the city he grew up in. There wasn't a lot of that. He skated a ramp a lot more than he skated the street because the street skating wasn't super great in the city, and he skated ramps a bunch. And so, like I was stoked. Yeah, straight up. Like he was my friend, and I loved watching his skateboard, and I still do. And that was motivating.
Yeah.
You know,
of course.
You know, like it wasn't intimidating for me at that time to see him come and just absolutely skate everything so beautifully every single time that he did it.
Beautifully is a correct word too.
And it was natural.
Yeah.
That was a period where that natural progression for him, that was a big natural progression. Those 12 months before coming here and the first 12 months, he continued on that trajectory where I felt like I plateaued for a year or two.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah. But I was getting used to my environment, right?
Still,
like,
yeah.
Because I'm not like a very stiff skater. Like if you watch me skate, I don't really go straight.
Yeah.
I don't like to go straight and then I'm going where I already know I'm going to go.
Yeah, okay.
I enjoyed it. I enjoy even though I'm not like like a carver. I'm not a guy that can drop in on tranny and like just flow like the wind. But on street skating, I enjoy to skate like that. I enjoy skating like that, and it took me a little while to get used to street skating in the US. Just the terrain.
Yeah,
it's too good.
It's something you don't hear too often.
It was too perfect, and it was too good, and it didn't really help my skating. But Tom did. Like the way that when Tom was skating like that, like it let us all know that we can do it, right?
Yes.
But also with that, it was motivating to see it.
Yeah, I bet.
Right, and like Tom was hanging out with different dudes that I was hanging out with. You know, but we all skated together.
Right.
Like I wasn't drinking and smoking and doing anything that period. I moved to the US and I didn't drink for the first 4 years.
First 4 years?
Yeah.
Were you drinking back in Liverpool?
Till the day I got on the flight.
Yeah, seriously?
Till the day before, yeah. Because I I flew out from London, right? So the night before I went to a bar, and I was only just being able to get into bars because I just turned 18 and I looked like I was 12. But in England, you can go into bars when you're much younger. There was no ID. I was going into bars from, a little bit younger than 18, but I looked so young I couldn't really get in, but I was still getting in before I was 18. So I drank, I went to like a pool hall, it's called the 147, I think, and played and had a couple of beers and played pool, and then flew to the US and then drank. And it wasn't intentional. I wasn't 21, right? I flew in here, I didn't have any friends, didn't know anybody.
Right.
Who's going to buy me beer?
You could still get it.
It wasn't my focus. I didn't really care. Around your friends is different, but when I went to, to a foreign place, I wasn't sitting there chilling with a beer because I didn't have anyone to chill with.
Right.
If I was going to do it by myself, that wasn't my focus at that time. I wasn't sitting there having a beer by myself every night at 18. That wasn't my focus.
Yeah.
It just was. It wasn't. And it never has been. Whenever my drinking or whenever anything like becomes a distraction, I always remind myself why I do it.
Yeah, it's true.
Right? Like if I want to eat away and pick away at it, then go ahead, but you'll never win that battle.
Yeah.
Alcohol and drugs, they win every single time.
Yeah.
Right? And
It's
my
true.
skating to me is more important to allow something like that to come in and destroy it.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah. Well, when Tom came out, did you kind of see something special was going on? Like with his skateboarding, your skateboarding, what you were doing? Did you feel anything at that moment? Or are you just like, whatever, I'm just living life?
No, I mean, Tom was incredible.
Yeah.
Right? He's still like that. You watch him skate and he's incredible.
Yeah.
Like, right? Like he's super creative in his head, like thinking about tricks and the way to do things, right? Like, and he was like that then. And like I said, I watched him kind of start on that path, like where he was really progressing in street skating, and then he moved over here. And I feel like, I'd already kind of started that before I came to the US, like skating a lot bigger street stuff, like pushing myself quick. But when I came here, I stalled it a little bit because I didn't know the spots. I didn't know where I was going, didn't know that. And I wasn't confident in myself at that moment. Yeah. But seeing Tom do it, like it's...
I feel like you had to be a big influence on him because he started skating bigger stuff when he came out here, it seemed like.
We're different skaters, and it comes back to, again, like I skated a lot with Appleyard. I enjoyed skating with Mark. And Mark's like... when he's at his best, he's the happiest skater around.
Oh, yeah.
And it's rad to watch and it's rad to be around. And like when I'm skating a lot in the past, now I'm a little more calmer than I was when I was a little bit younger. But I have a little bit more of an aggressive approach. Right, like, and I would go to those spots with Mark Appleyard. Right, that's the best kind of like yin yang side of it that I can give you, like the Tom thing where. We didn't skate the same, so we could skate the same spot, and we're not doing the same thing.
Right.
Even if we're doing the same trick, we're not doing it the same. Tom's like that a little bit. A little bit. And so I always enjoyed being around it. And I like, when I first met Tom, I skated on a mini ramp with him outside one of the big European contests. I didn't even know who he was.
Oh, wow.
And I was skating a mini ramp outside the contest in the parking lot, and it was just beer everywhere and trash everywhere. Just one of those old European contests, everything went. And I was skating the ramp, and I'd seen him in English mags, and he was on the platform. And I think he was the only English-speaking person on the platform or something like that. Because him and I started talking, and we started going, hey, can you do that trick? What about this one? Can you do that one? I can do this one, but can you do that trick? On the ramp.
Yeah.
So that's like the first time I skated with him.
Gotcha. Wow.
So it's always been like that.
Yeah.
Right? Like to this day.
Wow.
That's what it feels like to skate with Tom. For me, like I just feel comfortable.
Right.
So watching him do those things, doesn't matter how rad the trick is or how small it is, it feels the same to me. Where like I see him on the high end and go, yes, but on the low end it's just as impressive. And so I don't know, I think that's important, and I think Appleyard was a good one on that, where like Mark didn't skate like really big obstacles, and he didn't want to necessarily. When I first started skating with him, I think I remember him saying, I don't want to do those big rails, I don't want to do those big things. Right. Like, you don't have to, do you.
Yeah.
And it works.
I mean, he did skate big stuff, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
But nobody told him to. He did it himself because he wanted to. And that's like your environment.
Sure.
When you're progressing your skating is huge, huge.
Were you on Airwalk at this point?
Yeah.
In time?
I was getting flowed Airwalk shoes.
Getting flowed.
Yeah.
Okay. You eventually got on.
Yeah, I got on when I moved here, like to the States kind of permanently. Like they give me shoes permanently.
Okay. What Airwalks were you skating? What was the shoe that
His
you...
own pro model.
It was before that though, right? It was a great brand. Like growing up now, it's like looked at as this terrible Payless kind of, awful cut rate budget brand. But like when I was growing up, it was super progressive. They made great skateboard shoes, and I rode for them back then, right? Like, and all of my favorite guys that I wanted to skate, like half of them rode for either rode for Airwalk or Vans.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because those were the only really shoe companies that were in skate, that put money into our industry, that supported it, and that made skate shoes straight up.
Yeah.
And and so I rode for them. So
Okay.
I started skating with dudes that rode for that shoe company. Like Steve Barra, guys like that, and like so I was street skating with them, like Jeremy Klein,
Yes.
guys, and I think Ed Hamilton rode for Vans at that time. I think he did. Yeah,
Okay.
full canvas.
Would you ever skate the yellow NTSs?
Yes.
Oh, you did?
I was trying to think whether I had the green ones or the yellow ones. Were they green or yellow? I think I had the green ones.
The green?
No, in an
Yeah,
old
green,
video,
yellow,
did you
and
see
split.
yellow ones in an old video or green ones? I can't remember. Yellow or green, they were crazy. I did, yes. I did. But I had all of those old shoes. I had,
Sure.
the 720s, 540s, the gym shoe, the one shoe,
The Saris are the best.
the Saris. Yeah, were a great shoe. And I did. I was a huge fan of their shoes. They made great shoes back then.
Sure.
Yeah. They haven't done since that day. But they did. So that was one of my sponsors.
There you go. And then eventually you got on Vans. I mean, much later. That was about...
Well, I rode for Airwalk. I had like one or two pro shoes in Airwalk, but they'd already, like, the company had already changed hands. It was already going down the wrong direction, and it had bad ownership, and they were making crappy shoes, and they didn't know how to make shoes anymore. They'd forgotten who they were and what brand they were.
Yeah.
And so it was frustrating, like,
I can
because
imagine.
like, again, like the guy that designed those shoes, like those were shoes I grew up like just wanting to own, not being able to afford, and he still worked there, so I was like psyched. Like, his name was Sin, and he was a skate photographer, and he shot great photos that were in Transworld, and he was a shoe designer and just an incredible person, and he was the reason why I stayed riding for that company. And and then there was a few other shoe companies started at the time. DC had been around for like a couple of years, I think, and Lakai was just about to start, and I didn't really like any other shoes. Like, straight up, I was 22 years old. I still to this day love Fugazi, Minor Threat, East Coast hardcore music, and like Ian MacKay always wore like black canvas, vulcanized eras, Vans, basically. And at that period of time, like I just started drinking. I didn't drink from when I was 18 to 22, and I just started drinking again, and just wanted to get laid and look good. And I loved the fact that like I could look down at my shoes and be in a bar, and I felt like well put together, and then I could go street skate down the street, and I felt like I had skate shoes on.
Right.
Yeah.
I liked that, and honestly, like I got a huge confidence boost when I put on a pair of true crepe rubber shoes. That now, like, you could go and try and find a pair of true crepe shoes. Like, the commodity in itself is so expensive. There was so much grip. It gave me so much confidence when I skated that when I started wearing Vans, I was buying them from Vans stores across Southern California before I rode for them for a while. And then I started riding for them. I was still buying them from stores in Southern California because I was trying to buy all the old dead stock made in USA black and blue canvas eras. And I was just buying them all up because that's what I liked to skate in. And I could have rode from some of the other shoe companies that are around that I had a lot of respect for, but I didn't want to. I wanted to wear like black canvas eras, and I wanted to feel good and be confident, and that to me is priceless.
Yeah.
And when you skate, when we were skating the bigger rails and bigger stuff that we were skating at that time, the confidence, the grip that I had that I didn't have the day before I put those Vans shoes on.
Right.
And this isn't a paid commercial, just so you know. It's just straight up not. This is the truth.
Yeah.
And I took a 50% pay cut to go from Airwalk to Vans, ride for Vans, because I just wanted to ride for Vans. Yeah. And that company was going through different times. It'd been through a bunch of different hands, and it was doing pretty good, but it was not necessarily... It didn't necessarily have the best leadership or guidance as a brand or with its product. But I loved the product.
Yeah.
And I loved the Steve Van Doren's family and what their family built. And that's what I looked at for inspiration. And that's where I looked for motivation. And that's who I rode for.
Yeah.
I was sponsored by Steve Van Doren's family.
That's amazing.
And that, you know, so I was buying all the Made in USA shoes that they manufactured in Southern California. They were either made in Santa Ana or San Diego.
Oh.
And, you know, so that's what happened. That's how I started riding for Vans, pretty much. And they didn't really have a lot of skaters in the building at that time. So I was fortunate enough to get a little bit of creative control and an opportunity to showcase whatever it was that I wanted to showcase through the brand, through my, you know, ads or shoes. So
you were literally riding for Airwalk, buying Vans.
No, I quit riding for Airwalk, and then there was a period, well, right at the tail end of it, I remember throwing a pair of shoes up into a tree when I was in Buena Park, skating a rail, trying to do a trick that I thought I could do, and it was the shoes. It was blame your tools.
Yeah.
I'm blaming my tools. It was bullshit. My shoes would not perform. They wouldn't perform, so I threw them in a tree.
Okay.
And I said to myself, I'm never ever wearing those shoes ever again.
Wow.
That's it. They're in that tree and they're going to fucking stay in that tree. They might be there now. And it was in Buena Park. It was a little handrail that Jeremy Ray did the first frontside 360 ollie lip on ever.
Oh.
It was a little practice rail.
Yeah.
4 or 5 stairs, and it was angled, so it was easy to throw tricks at.
You couldn't even, what were you trying? What were you trying?
I was trying to do a backside 360 flip lip.
Oh, jeez.
It sounds stupid, right? I had no board control. I had new samples that were from Airwalk or whoever I was riding for at the time. Allegedly riding for Airwalk. What's that?
Samples are never right.
I'm sample size. Van samples usually work. But they didn't. They were all going way left field. Their product was just turned into shit. And that's what happened. So, and I didn't really like what Vans was making at the time neither. They made, like, all the skate shoes of that period were all super. We all wore them, right?
Yeah.
They were super puffy. They had big puffy ankles, big puffy tongues.
No board feel.
No board feel, but just aesthetically, they'd gone almost like to like a fashion thing than an actual performance or like a function. A lot of it, like, there was still rubber ollie pads on a lot of those technical shoes, right? And like, I'm not talking shit on that, like, really, but there's better shoes for skating than that.
Right.
Like, foam is not going to give you much protection, right? And better materials and better processes, and that will give you, you know, a better product. And I felt like even what Vans had from like the 60s was better than what everyone else was making. There was something in that DNA that made them skate better, and it was the grip, it was the fit, it was the aesthetic, and it was they were designed and built for skating. So I kind of like took that a little bit and tried to run with that.
Right. I
wanted to make Vans skate shoes skatable, and I wanted to make all of their skate shoes skatable.
When you got on Vans, you were still buying the old shoes.
Yeah, and I had the team manager, Ignacio Villanueva, you know, going to all like Southern California Vans retail stores to buy every dead stock they could find of those old canvas made in USA eras. And then Scott Sismus, who's still like works in the surf department, I think he manages the whole surf category. He was a skate team manager at the time too, or like was part of that crew managing the skate guys. And they were pretty much the only real skaters in the whole building, if I remember. Maybe one other person, in the whole building.
It's all changed.
Yeah.
Hey, like, thankful, like, we have a lot of skaters that work with Vans.
Totally.
Like,
yeah.
It's rad.
Well, how long after you got on Vans did you get a shoe?
Straight away.
Straight away? Designed your own shoe?
I had a 3-year contract.
This was in what, 99, 2000?
Late 98 is when I got sponsored by Vans.
Okay.
And I was able to develop a shoe.
Wow.
1 a year, 3 years, I think.
Huh.
At my discretion.
Is that the shoe behind you right there?
Yeah, this another paid advertisement. No, we're reissuing the shoe and comes out at the end of summer. It was my first shoe. It came out like in early 1999, and so like the first chance I got to kind of like do a shoe for Vans, I wanted to improve upon without changing what I liked about the shoe, which was the vulcanized construction and the grip that the true crepe outsole and the compound gave you. So I started there, and then I wanted to add a little bit more pad into the sock liner, because Vans Volk shoes historically have been are not as the original ones, aren't as comfortable. We don't have the technology. We didn't have the technology then that we have now. So that was it. Like,
little thin
add
too.
performance to what I already liked about a Vans black canvas era.
Right.
Which is why there's all like rubber underlays on all of the panels. It's a U-throat, so you don't bake your laces very much.
What is that?
Shoe.
U-throw.
What's that? like this. The way that it's built, it won't open up. If it opens
I
up
see
here and
what you're
goes all the way down,
Yeah,
then it would be
okay.
a chucker,
Right.
or a blucher, right? That would be the name of the construction. But I like U-throats right in here, right? Because you can close in the front eye row, and it makes it harder for you to break your laces, right? So when I designed
push your
this
laces more on
shoe, the
top of the
first thing
foot.
I wanted is I liked the canvas era because you didn't break your laces in
Right.
it. So I wanted a U-throat with a real tight front eye row.
Okay.
Right, so you barely ever break your laces in this shoe, and then the rubber underlays were there to reinforce the stitch, which we always blow our stitch out, right?
Yep.
So the reinforced underlays in the ollie pad area were for that. And then it had like an actual proper sock liner, which no Volk shoes for Vans had before that, and a little bit of padding in the tongue, a little bit, not a lot, a little bit, and then a little bit in the collar. And we designed that in like, late '98, early 1999, and I think we took it off the market at, I think, 2007 or something, because it's a hard shoe to manufacture. Just the way that they build the shoe around the mold of the shoe. So we pulled it off the market because the factories that we were using at the time weren't doing a real good job at it. And so we're reissuing it now after all these years, because it's 20 years of me riding for Vans, which is insane.
That's insane.
And like humbled by that and thankful. And we're bringing this out like at the end of July, and it's, I don't know, it was my favorite shoe. It was the first shoe that we kind of did.
That shoe was great.
Different colors, obviously, too. Different colorways and stuff.
Yeah, it comes out at the end of summer, probably in 400,000 colors. But
that kind of looks like it'd be a 9 Club colorway right
I
there.
know.
Hey, you know what? You want to do it? Not you can do them. Let's do this now.
Let's just slap a woven 9 Club label on there. We'll call it a day.
You could screen print the sock liner, but
when you came out with that shoe that first shoe, what did Vans think of it? Were they fully behind it, or were they?
Shoes at
Well, that's what I'm saying. This is something totally different.
They didn't want to sample it. They didn't want to make it. They said that this was at the time. I'm going to say this. This isn't negative. This is positive. We're all positive. At the time, Vans wasn't using a side stripe. As a brand.
Sure.
They weren't using the little skateboard off the wall logo that everyone's familiar with. They weren't using it as a brand.
Okay.
They weren't using the Vans with the flying V, so the V that goes across it.
Yes, exactly.
They had a whole different branding package at the time, and they weren't making many vulcanized shoes because no one really appeared to want them.
Right. It was big and bulky. That's
cup soles were in.
Yeah, like more padded stuff. So that was a challenge for the first year. At first, they wouldn't sample the shoe. They didn't see how that's not our logo. That's not a side stripe doesn't sell for us.
Nobody's going to know that it's a Vans.
No one wants to buy a vulcanized shoe.
Right.
Like, that's outdated. That's old school. So it was a little bit frustrating. For a little bit of like, hey, I just quit this company. I took a 50% pay cut. And now I'm riding for this company and I can't even sample a shoe that I want. Right? And the president made me wait a week, which was kind of uncomfortable. And then he called me back after a week and said, well, sample it. And he sampled it and it came back and we liked the way it looked, but it was definitely looked different. Like if you looked at the Vans catalogs at that period with that shoe in the middle of all the other puffy shoes, it looked strange. It looked like another brand.
That's what I'm saying.
And it didn't sell for the first year because a lot of retailers hadn't bought Vans for a couple of years. And and it wasn't Vans that was the issue, is that the skate shoes were changing.
Yeah.
And the skate shops were looking for something new, I think, but at the same time, like Vans wasn't really making a lot of shoes that they wanted to cover their wall in, and so they didn't want to buy it, like for a little while, and then skate kids started to come in the skate shop and go, hey, I saw this shoe in the mag, and like it's a Vans shoe, like do you guys sell it or can I buy it? It's a skate shoe, and the skate shop started buying it,
There you go.
like. So it took a little while, but I'd say it was done the right way. But it was pretty gnarly for being 23 years old, right? Like a kid going,
sure,
fuck, like,
am
I going to be sponsored next week?
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge risk, but you were designing something that worked for you.
Like if I get product and it works right, and it's hard to compromise that when you know that when it works, you can do better stuff than when you don't have that. And with shoes, it's your first point of contact. Once I started skating in that true kind of rubber compound and the vulcanized process, which molds to your feet, it molds to your feet and it takes shape with your foot and it has a memory, and that memory knows how you do a kickflip. The vulcanized construction, it does give you more of that custom fit. I'm not going to compromise that ever.
Right.
I skate better when I don't.
There you go.
And that's priceless, right? You can't buy that.
100%.
So that's kind of where I was at. It was frustrating for a little bit, but
Yeah.
Well,
the brand, this is like the important thing to think of really is at that time, the brand listened to a skater.
Yes.
And
you're
from the
giving
top
them-
down, from the president down, they listened to the skater and they did what the skater was asking for and what they needed in product. And it worked.
As they should, though.
Yeah.
The skaters are on the forefront.
But you're using their DNA to give. You're like, I'm using what you guys have already done.
I think
you know what I mean.
I'm taking influence from the first skate shoe.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Which Tony Alva.
I think
was,
a big
you know,
problem though too though is like Vans used to make all their shoes here in California or whatever, and then they obviously had like they were like
They had to move
employed
their
immigrants.
manufacturing overseas, and the nature of that whole industry just changed.
And people
right?
overseas just didn't know how to make the proper Volk shoe, so I think they just were like, all right, we'll make a cup, and they just kind of ran with that.
There's some of that, but also like the vulcanized process is quite labor intensive, right? It's expensive.
Yeah, like, cook 'em.
It is. They bake them a couple of times, and like it's expensive and it has parameters.
Yeah.
And doing high volume and it's hard. So it's not like from a brand standpoint, if you own a business and you're going to go, okay, let's put all of our eggs into that basket. It's kind of a gnarly one.
Yeah.
You know, especially at that time
make
when
less
it's
money off
not
Volk.
proven. What's that?
They probably make less money off Volk shoes because of how much work it takes to make them.
Yeah.
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 And true rubber compound is expensive.
Yeah.
True
Sure,
crepe.
yeah.
You know?
So they weren't selling at first.
Yeah. They
And is that when you did the 50-50 down the Staples Center
That
hubba
was-
that showed you?
Yeah.
These do work, actually.
Well, I was wearing
Barbell.
I was wearing Made in USA canvas eras in
Oh,
that
you were?
photograph.
Okay, yeah.
So those were ones that I'd purchased from some random shop in Southern California, from wherever.
That's amazing.
I was wearing those canvas eras and that, and then we designed the shoe, right? So that was my first ad.
Okay.
Like for Vans, it was just a Vans ad, and then
What were you thinking, bro?
Let's grind that thing.
Well, how did you just like came across it? You're like, I'm gonna fucking grind that thing, dude.
No, like at that time, right? Like, Jamie Thomas and Andrew Reynolds and Heath Kirchart and like all these guys trying to skate bigger stirs, bigger rails, right? And so we were pushing at that pretty heavy. And like, I knew all the spots that like were in Southern California that were right in front of everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That was one of the spots that's right on the freeway. You can see it's in downtown LA. You can see the freaking thing from the freeway.
From space, you could
From
see it.
space, you can see it. We all drove past it.
Yeah.
We were all skating downtown LA, skating Wilshire rails and all that kind of stuff a bunch. So we all looked at it. But that period, and this is, I was talking to somebody about this morning. There was a certain amount of etiquette. There was a certain amount of respect for each other.
Yeah.
To where if, like, let's say Heath Kirchart grinded at UCI, that big 50-50 that he did where he grinded it, and then there was like a 4-foot gap and 2-3 stirs and
Yeah.
50-50. It was fucking
Yeah.
sick, right? We'd all seen that spot, but he got to it first.
Sure.
He stepped on it first, right? So I didn't want to skate that spot.
Right.
Because Heath looked at it like that, the first, skated it, got it. I'm like, I could have skated that. Heath could have skated the Staples Center.
Yeah.
I didn't want to. I didn't
Right.
want to skate things that anyone else skated. I wanted to find these gnarly spots, look at them and go, everyone's looking at that. Everyone has seen that. It's right in front of everybody. We need to hit that.
I'm going to touch it. Yeah.
Someone needs to hit that thing. I felt like that a lot about those really big like stirs and rails. Like you come in quietly, you get it done, and you get out.
Right.
And everyone
Yeah,
goes, what?
drops.
He did what? He skidded that? I get a kick out of that. I
Yeah,
think it's
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
You know? And you know, so it was that really. Like I'd see it off the freeway, and I remember seeing it was when they were building the building.
The convention center.
The convention
yeah.
center,
Yeah.
right? And so I remember checking it, just pulling off the side of the freeway, going, I'm just going to look at it. I was by myself. And there's another spot there as well that's never been skated. That's like it, but someone needs to do it.
You won't say what it
You want to
was.
say, yeah. He's going to come in quietly and.
Well, when I skated it and grinded it the day, I wanted to go back and do this other thing there
Okay.
that I saw that was like another step up from that.
above, yeah, sure.
I'll explain to you and I'll show you, and maybe we can get somebody today. Maybe we can kind of pin it, and somebody can go and do it.
You don't want to sneak in quietly and go do it? This is.
The Geoff Rowley challenge.
I know.
You know, I did look at it this morning. I didn't go to the spot, but I was looking at the video footage because we're working on some Vans, like stuff for their brand campaign, and
Oh,
we were looking
cool.
at some of that old footage.
Yeah.
And I was looking at it in the background. That thing, I need to do that.
Right.
Like you're gonna die. But no, I went and looked at it. It's about chest to neck height.
Yeah,
Right. Like if you
at the
stand
top.
at the top.
Sure.
Right. And so I remember looking at it going, okay, if I step back and give it the golf look, and then where you get low, and you look at, okay, if I just go straight and acid drop, where am I going to land?
Right.
If I go straight and acid drop, I got to acid drop 12, 13 stairs before I'm going to land on it. So I knew if I ollied like a good height, like waist height, that I would have to ollie down about 8 or 9 stairs.
Okay.
So can I ollie like 8 or 9 stairs and then land on like a waist high ledge?
Right.
That's kind of what I just kept telling myself in my head of like, if I get from there to there, it's going down.
Yeah.
If I go too slow the first go, I am fucked royally and like straight up screwed.
Yeah.
Because it's a high ledge, you can't grab it, and you're going to be going backwards because it's steep.
Yes.
So that's all I thought. I'm like, I looked back and went, if I go fast and I'm confident that day, I'm going to do it. So I just looked at it and went, I can do it, and I left.
You left straight away.
I left straight away, and I'm like, it's doable. I can do it. But I don't know if I can. But it's doable. And then I just called Dan Sturt and said, meet me here. You know, meet me here. And I had Thomas Campbell staying with me. You know, and he was an incredible photographer, artist.
If he's staying with
everything.
Okay.
And he was staying outside of my house, I think, in his Volkswagen Bug, because he was surfing a bunch. So he'd go out early, but he would sleep outside in his Volkswagen Bug because that's what he'd do. But he wanted to come that day. I'm like, dude, you can't come. You can't come. Dan will freak out.
Oh,
like,
bringing another photographer and the whole thing. Yeah.
You know, it's
You could have shot 16 though.
No, you don't show up, you know, when you're making a movie with somebody, with someone else necessarily.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, and I understood that, and like I understood a little bit more what Dan's mind was at, just in general with that stuff. So out of respect for him, I would never do that. Right. And but Thomas was there that day. He filmed it from a bush, 16 mil. And that was a Vans commercial, but no one knew he was there.
He commandoed it in the...
Daniel Halster to this day doesn't know that Thomas Campbell was at the convention center and I grinded it. He was in the bushes filming 16 mil.
That's amazing.
No way, dude.
I know.
But you knew, right?
I knew.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
But I didn't want him to be there because I knew if Dan caught a glimpse out of him, he would leave.
Yeah.
And rightfully so.
Yeah.
Right. And I didn't want that. I was trying to do something that I didn't know I shouldn't be there in general. I shouldn't have been trying to skate that thing. But I'd made the call, right? I had like the skate photographer that I just idolized growing up, you know, and I was a huge fan of like Thomas Campbell, right? Yeah. So it's hugely flattering that he even cared and would want to be there. And so that's kind of what we did. We went back there and did there and checked it out, and I just looked at it and went, and I know that I remember seeing Dan Sturt, and Dan's like shot some of the like craziest stuff ever.
Yeah.
He looked concerned. He looked concerned, and but I knew that if I turned around, I went back and I pushed full speed and I landed where I wanted to go, that I was going to get to the bottom.
Right.
And that's all I did. It's just pushing yourself. Yeah. It's no different than trying to do a new trick on a ledge that you know you can do, but your body's never moved that way, right?
Yeah. There's
a certain amount of like, I know, I have an idea, I can see it, I can visualize what I'm trying to do, but I don't know what's going to happen.
And the confidence too.
The confidence. But you also don't know if that one go, the first go you go like, I got this, but you land frontside feebble.
Oh.
And then you might not wake up from when the spots get that big. You have to pretty much be fine with passing
away.
You have to be fine with like taking a ridiculously bad slam, because the second that's going to happen, what are you going to do?
Right.
If you're skating a roof gap and you hit the rock right when you're about to take off, what are you going to do?
Nothing.
Preparation is everything with those bigger stuff, and it's not even serious. It's just preparation, but it has to be done, you know?
What about the wax or something? I mean, did you know, like, how did you even know it was going to grind all the way down?
I rubbed my trucks on it and it felt painted. But did you I have another story like that.
Okay.
Right, where I was...
How many tries, first of all, before
6 or 7 goes.
6 or 7, okay.
With the make. Like,
gotcha.
And I think the third go I did land frontside feeble, and that was the first one where I went, oh, dude, if I land anything like that again, I am done, because I went straight to my hip, you know, your hip joint, and straight to my elbow, and you know what that feels like? It feels like somebody has just grabbed your guts and just thrown them on the floor.
Oh, jeez.
It felt like that, and so I'm like, dude, I gotta go 1 or 2 more goes, because like I need maximum strength, right?
Yes.
You know, so you're fighting the odds a little bit with that too. It's just like, hey, how many times can I jump? You know, going however fast you're going, 15, 20 miles an hour down, like. I don't know how many stairs it is. It's probably 20 stairs.
It's insane.
But you know what I mean? Like,
but it's a massive hubba.
You're jumping down those stairs, going full speed. So it is. You do only get a window.
Yeah.
Like no matter who you are, you only get a window, and you know. So like I don't have it. Like usually I don't have any adrenaline. Like when I'm skating shit like that, like because if you have adrenaline, it's gonna kill you probably.
What do you mean no adrenaline? You're just you're calm. You're just really
inside. Yeah.
You would I would feel like you'd
think you'd be like
yes,
let's do this.
Right.
No, not really.
Calm, mellow.
Yeah.
Just clear mind.
Yeah.
That's why it looks so effortless when he does it.
Now, are you blacking out too? Are you blacking out in the middle of it?
The energy's there, right? The energy and the passion for like going at it is but you have to maintain control.
Yeah, of course.
But also too, you do so much stuff like that you're somewhat used to it.
Yeah.
You could get killed being used to it.
Right. But did you ever have the blackout phase where you do a gnarly trick and you're just rolling away?
I don't know. I don't remember completely going black. That would be kind of sick though.
Yeah.
But I don't really remember that. Like,
Okay.
no, I definitely have preparation for all of that stuff.
Sure.
And like now it's like, then it looked like I was very serious. Like I didn't skate with you a lot, right, Chris, right? Like, but we were skating around the same circles and everything like that. And like I know I rubbed off as like being a lot more, abrasive, aggressive, maybe.
Okay.
But when I was skating a lot of time, like that's just the way I look, Yeah. But that's like I grew up and like they call it a scowl, right? And then like you just kind of look just industrial and burnt out. But no, like that's the truth of it. I was thinking about that the other day because it's like how many goes do you get before that thing that happens and it just happens right in front of you?
Yes.
What are you gonna do? Those kind of things. I think about that, and that's what keeps me safe.
Interesting.
I'd be freaking out making those videos if like I was trying to skate those things every day, and I was like jazzed up with crazy adrenaline, wanting to just roid everybody, So there was that. I mean, I definitely had that. Like, I definitely would shout at myself to like do things to motivate myself to not be a freaking pansy.
Yeah. What was the other story you were about to tell with the
waxing a hat? You're right. Is it like those spots? Like I skated a rail at the end of Belmont in Long Beach, Belmont Pier, the Veterans Memorial Pier. There used to be a rail going across the water at the end of it, and it was a really flat, like 12-stair rail. And Nick Trapasso got the cover.
That's when you skated at night.
I skated at night, but Nick Trapasso did a
5-0
a 5-0 on it. It was cover of Transworld, I think. But I skated it like a 2-year before that, and grinded it at 1 o'clock in the morning in the dark because I wanted to fall in the river in the night. In the river, sorry, the ocean. Well, I thought if you're going to do that, do it in the night. Yeah, because then if you do fall in the water, you're fucked.
Pretty much.
Right. If you're going to do it, like you're
can't
already
see,
committed
though.
to doing it.
How are you?
Well, that's what I thought would be pretty gnarly, right? Like if you filmed like doing a rail over the ocean.
Yeah.
Like it's whatever, 500 yards into the ocean, and you're grinding a flat 12-stair rail over the water. I get kicked out of weird shit like that because no one had skated it. I looked at it and went, it's right here in Long Beach, right next to the Belmont Ledges that are like iconic, legendary, like street spot in every video since the dawn of time. It's at the end of that pier.
Yeah.
The first trick in Sorry video, or one of them where I tried to do a fakey nose grind on like a steep rail, and I just hit my face on the floor.
Oh, that was tasty.
Dude, your whole body just goes the same time. Yeah. There's no preparation. You just.
I had that, and you got that trick, Chris. That's a trick that you're really good at. The fakey nose grind.
Yes.
Yeah, you're really good at it. Very few.
But
you and Ave.
Yeah, never on a street rail.
You and Ave are really good at it. Not a lot of people are really good at that trick.
I like to balance. You got to balance. Some people scrape.
Beeble's got a good one too.
Beeble too.
I'm in the mindset that if your wood hits, it's not a 5-0.
Yes.
It's some kind of crooked grind, fake cheating thing that you're doing. But it's not for me to judge everyone else's skating. My skating, if I do a 5-0 down a rail, I don't want my tail to touch.
You can't touch.
If I do a crooked grind like that, I want it locked and awkward and crooked grinded. If I'm doing a nose grind, it's not an over-rotated crooked grind. Yeah. Fuck no.
Right.
It's a cold cannon.
It's
the wood doesn't touch, it balances.
There you go.
That's why you're grinding on your nose. You're cheating if you're putting down. It's like a stabilizer on your BMX bike. Yeah. There's a point where you have to get rid of it. But I always felt like that. Like form is important.
Yes.
You need to handle lick.
But to answer the question that you asked me 20 minutes ago, that rail, I grinded it, right? So I did that, and I went back. I wanted to lip slide it, and so I went back early morning, like right when first light came out. with Joe Krolick.
Okay.
And we went to the end of the pier, and it had bird shit all over the rail. From when I'd gone there a week before, a bird had gone to town on the rail and just pooped all the way down it. I mean, it's seagulls. It's the Belmont Veterans Memorial Pier. The rail's gone now, so one of you young guns who hits rails can't skate it anymore. It's gone. Find your own. And
What trick were you going to try?
the lip slide.
Yeah.
Right, but it had poo all over it. It was dry bird poo, so I waxed it.
Oh, shit.
Halfway down, thinking, if I get on, it feels not too bad right where I'm going to get on, but right at the end, there's a lot of bird poop and it's real dry. I don't want to get to the end and stick right and fall in the water.
Yeah.
Or worse, just lunge forward and hit the rail on the side and fall in the water and knocked out. Right. And that was playing on me, so I'm like, just wax it, because if it slides, you'll get to where you need to go. I waxed it, I slipped out and broke my ankle really bad in 2 places.
Fuck.
And so there's your answer. Don't always wax. I hate wax. I'll wax stuff, but I'll wax it to move it. I won't wax it to make it grind. Like, I don't know. I don't like to sit and lock. And that's why I mentioned if you put your nose down and the wood, you can stand up straight.
Yeah.
Watch people at skate rails now. They stand completely up straight like that.
That's true.
How do they do that if they are balancing on one truck?
Yeah. Food for thought, kids.
Yeah, there you go.
We're talking skate, right?
What about
not judging
waxing the board? You wax or just
No,
take
I will.
scrape
I
the
wax
bird shit
stuff,
off.
Right, I just don't like to use it to get the trick done. I use it to just get move through it. Less is more. And that was an example when I waxed it when I was filming, because I thought I was going to stick, and I broke my ankle really bad, and I had to pull myself to the end of the pier just on my board.
Oh, man.
All the way through. My whole leg was black, and I snapped my leg. I snapped my ankle this way, not this way. And no, I tell a lie, sorry. This way it gone, and it snapped the bone on the outside, and it broke a bone on the inside.
Oh, God.
So what that looks like when you break your ankle that way is your whole leg goes black.
Oh.
Like because that muscle and ligament where it's attached goes up the back of your leg, into the back of your knee, into the back of your leg. So I was pulling myself along as my leg was just gone, and then I went straight into surgery.
Straight into surgery. Pins.
A few days later, no pins.
No pins.
No.
They just
and that was
said
the second time I broke the left ankle. Waxing a rail.
Damn, dude.
I'll wax the shit out of it.
Finished the video though.
Yeah, did you?
I don't remember which video it was. It was.
Sorry?
No, it was probably the last flip video.
This is around the same, what we were talking about earlier with the 50-50 down the
Yeah. The
Staples Center. Yeah. Was this around the same time as filming for Sorry?
Yeah, that was kind of like mid video or something like, or early video. I can't, that would have been early actually. Yeah. That would have been early, whatever. But yeah, definitely filming for that video. I think it was. We were just filming in general. Truly, we really were just filming in general.
But when that video came out,
dude,
I mean, it changed the game.
That was the most one of the most heavy anticipated.
Did you go to the premiere?
Yes, I did.
I didn't go to the premiere.
I did go.
Rad. How old were you?
I was 17 years old.
Rad. That's amazing.
But I was like, I can't believe I'm here, and we were just like, we had Bastion coming out and everything like that. It was Mark's part. You're like, what the hell? That was the craziest video of all time until that point.
It was fun. Like, we skated a lot, and the focus was skateboarding. Yeah, really, every single day.
Yeah, but every trick it was one of those videos where every trick you're like, what the fuck? And then you just kept going and going and going. It wasn't like, oh, that was chill. Yeah. Right. There's never a chill trick. And then
just getting hit over the head over and over again.
Well, there was the videos. I think a lot of videos would have like 3 or 4 tricks at the end. They'd all be slow mo.
The hammers.
Yeah, and like I felt like at that time we were skating so much and we were producing, right? Like we weren't having a problem getting footage because it's all we did. The majority of the time we were out skating. Yeah. Bastion. I used to take Bastion to a skate park, and I would skate there for like 3 or 4 hours. I'm like, "You ready to go?" We just got here. I want to go. And he'd skate for another 3 hours. I'd be sitting there going, "Fuck, man, I've been skating for 6 hours now."
Right.
Get home and he'd go outside skating flat ground.
Wow.
While we were filming that video.
It's crazy.
So he'd go out and film all day and he'd get home and he's outside doing 8,500 kickflips on the flat ground, so what you want to hear about that period in that video is true. Like, it was a lot of skateboarding.
Just skating.
Yeah. And it was just a bunch of dudes pushing themselves. It was the right environment and support.
Yeah.
And respect for each other and support of each other.
I mean, you could see it. You could see it,
It seemed like you and Arto were heavy, just kind of not upping each other, but you guys skate a lot of the similar spots. In that
video. We skate a lot of the similar kind of stuff, or just we were progressing in similar ways. Similar stuff, right? And, Yeah, I mean, it's been the same since then. It's the same now as it was then.
Yeah.
I haven't stopped filming. It's just the same. I mean, so it's 3 flip videos, a propeller video, an epically lated, a battle commander. I filmed a full mini ramp part.
Yeah.
And those 3 videos in the last 20 years of like full parts, and then whatever the other videos that are out there. It's a lot of skate.
Sure.
It's what it is. Like, and you know, but it is the same now for me. Like, I get a kick out of that. Like, there's certain things that are special and that I won't compromise, and that's like how I skate. You know, like I can't be told to go skate right now.
Right.
You know, the first X Games we go to, where they go, okay, now, go, and they'd be shouting at you.
Seriously?
Yeah. Go now. The camera's ready.
Cameras,
go now.
TV's
Go
on,
now.
yeah.
Like, I'm looking at the dude going, actually, I'm going to go that way.
Oh.
Like, to a skater.
Yeah, of course.
Right, you're already ruining
The experience.
The mojo, the everything. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but just filming those videos, they all have their challenges, right? And like in every one of those videos, like for me, I'm filming with a different group of people. Some guys are the same, right? Like some of the dudes, the flip videos were mostly the same dudes, right?
Right.
But with then some new dudes in each of the videos, like your PJ Ladd or something
Yeah,
like that. Like,
yeah.
you know, PJ was fucking incredible.
Super
he was
good.
rad, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, so there was different chapters of those videos and
Yeah.
people, but I was filming throughout, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
And like you learn things through that process that are special, like that, like, hey, this process works for me.
Sure.
Like, and I can get the job done. So if I'm going to do it again, this is kind of how I'm going to go at it, because I'm going to get the job done if I go at it that way. It sounds freaking like it's a job, right? But it isn't. It's just the way that you think about what it is that you do. And like, the more you do make it serious and make it more of a job, I don't want to be that pro skater. I look at him and I go, I want to be inspired like by the guy. Like I grew up being inspired by, you know, not just the skater, the photographer,
Yes.
the guy who drew the graphic artists. Like those are as important to me, that they are well handled, you know, around me, like my board graphics, like those that's important to me. It's the same now as it was then. Those certain things are like, I don't like letting people develop my own board graphics, and I've designed all my own shoes.
Yes.
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a part of it.
And if I sucked at it, I wouldn't keep doing it.
Yeah.
And I suck at some stuff, right? But the things that I do and I enjoy doing and they work out, I'm going to keep doing them, you know, as long as they don't hurt anybody or
Sure.
any of that. But the skating side of it is the people you put yourself around, like, you know, like we made those first couple of flip videos and there was, you know, certain dudes in there, and then as we move into the next videos, there's younger kids and newer people coming in.
Yeah.
That pushes my progression and keeps going, right? I can't do the same thing. I'm not going to film the same video part. I'm not going to go and lip slide a handrail because you want to see me lip slide a handrail. Fuck that. Fuck you. I want to progress skating.
Exactly.
If that means I learn a new trick and it's not like on the biggest obstacle I could do it on, that's not for me to judge. That's how I skate and why I enjoy it.
Right.
I want to keep learning new things and doing new things. And every video part, I feel I'm inspired by like different things, different ways of street skating,
Sure.
different types of skating. And, you know, but that's definitely the common thread. That and the fact that like I eat shit every time I make videos and I'm skating a lot. And, you know, but yeah, like I can skate with like 12, 13-year-old kids right now, and like I can really get fired up by that, right? Like, and I can't get that from somebody my age right now.
Right.
Most guys,
Right.
I have to keep going where I know I can surround myself with the environment that keeps my progression moving and keeps me interested in it.
Totally.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, so that's gone through different phases, and those videos with different people, you're affected by those different crews, right? Like the Propeller video that we did. Vans has never made a skate video. It's 49 years they've been in business, and they never put out a skate video.
How crazy is that?
It's kind of cool. Like, not many things are left special in this day and age, right? Like, you know, and like I took that on as being like, that's kind of rad. Like that, like this old company that is doing really good right now, makes great products, supports skating, supports hard good skating, and supports professional skateboarders.
Yes.
Is making a skate video and putting like effort and resource behind it. I had 4 surgeries making that video.
4 surgeries.
I got ruined, and that was just, I'd had a good run with all the other videos where I like towards the tail end of finishing the videos I'd like break something.
Okay.
But I already had like 90% of what I wanted to film. So that's it done.
Yeah.
You know that, Kelly. How many video parts have you put out? You put them out, and the second they come out, you go, fuck, can do better. Or like,
well, no, yeah, the first video part I ever had was the same thing. Yeah, I broke my foot, and I was like, fuck, well, there it is.
I did that in the Sorry video.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Oh,
I never knew that, though.
Yeah,
I never knew.
the week before the premiere, I came to the premiere on crutches. I actually had a cane, I think. It's a cane or crutches. But I had, I busted my ankle up right before the Sorry video trying to get a trick, you know? But that Vans video was the first video that kicked my ass. It won. I had 4 surgeries making the video, and I finished the video.
Right.
And I enjoyed my skating in there, but half of it was beating the deadline.
Yes.
And that's kind of bothered me since then.
Oh,
The last couple of years I've gone like, fuck, I felt great, but every time I'd get like back to like, yeah, I'm feeling good, I'm starting to get stuff again, I feel confident and enjoying my skating, I'd break something.
What surgeries did you have during that video? 4?
Yeah, I had ankle surgery, and then I had knee surgery.
Oh, wow.
On the opposite legs. So I had left ankle surgery, and then I had right knee surgery.
Okay.
You know, with 9 months to 12 months recovery for each one of them.
Sure.
So I'd get back to skate, I'd film for 8 months, and then something happened. And it happened twice right at the start of filming. And so I kind of like halfway through filming, I was already kind of handicapped a little bit. And you know, it's like when you break an ankle and then bust a knee on the other leg. It's like you're just battling to enjoy your skating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not going to put out a video part if I look like I'm not enjoying my skating. I'm not even going to go film.
Right.
Like, and yeah, so like that was just a different video for me. You know, like I'd had all those runs with those full street parts and like got through them.
Happy with it though?
Yeah, I was stoked.
Good.
Yeah, I was happy.
Yeah.
But I can do better than that.
There you
Straight
go.
up, like just judging my own self.
Right. Propeller 2.
Dude.
No, we're talking skating. I'm not gonna hold back on that, right? Of like,
I love it, dude.
it is that, but no, I was stoked on everything that I got, and like given more time, I'd have probably had the same stuff, but probably to film some extra stuff because I had more time. But I had ankle surgery, knee surgery, and then I had 2 neck surgeries. I had a crazy whiplash from a car accident before we started filming the Propeller video, so I was dealing with these like neck problems, which is just nasty from whiplash from a car accident, which I should have died in the car accident.
Really?
Yeah, I got
bad
hit
accident.
really bad. Like, and I was so lucky.
What happened? You got rear-ended or something?
I was in the fast lane week after we filmed the Extremely Sorry video. I went on vacation with my new girlfriend, and for like a week up to Big Sur, and just went camping for a few days and just chilled out because I just finished the video. Got back next morning, get on the freeway, get in the fast lane, goes to a dead stop, boof, car in front of me starts to pull away, bang. That's all I heard. All I heard was eat, bang.
From behind.
From the back. Yeah, it was a GMC 3500. Hit me. I was in an Audi all-road.
Oh, my God.
And it totaled the car. It crushed the frame. The car was about 8 inches shorter than it was before. Every window threw out. None of the airbags went. The radio almost hit me in the head. Everything in the car flew onto the freeway. And I couldn't hear anything. I could just hear a ringing sound. And I stepped out of the car on the busiest part of the 405 freeway, right, going through Seal Beach Naval Weapons Base.
Wow.
So how many lanes is it? 6 lanes, I think? It's massive, and I was in the fast lane. So I stepped out onto the freeway going, you're going to die right now, you need to get to somewhere safe. I couldn't hear anything, it was just rings.
Ringing, wow.
You know, so I got in the car, it was completely totaled, and I drove it across all the lanes like a spasm.
No way.
Into the hard shoulder because I was going to get killed and exposed.
But there's so many,
freeway.
Could be a pileup.
Yeah, I was lucky that like there was space a little bit, so but the car hit me and the dude stepped out the car and he just, you know, he shouted like straight away like, I'm gonna lose my fucking job now, right now. He didn't even say, are you okay?
No way.
Meanwhile, I'm just hearing this crazy ringing sound, but he's the only dude standing there. He doesn't say anything to me, he just said, no, I'm gonna lose my fucking job now. And I just looked at him like,
I know.
You're fucked right now.
Dude.
And
Wait,
was your girlfriend in the car too?
No, just me.
Okay.
Driving south in the 405. So I pulled the car onto the side of the road, called the cop, whatever.
Yeah.
I told, as soon as the cop came, I said, hey, dude, I got hit pretty hard. I don't know what's going on. Like, can you help me?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
so I had my camera, which was in the bag that flew under the freeway, and I I thought like shoot photos of everything because you can't write stuff down right now.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
you've just been
tough.
hit, and you don't know what just happened. You don't know how hard you were hit, right? Like when that's going down.
Discombobulated.
Yeah. Anyway, dealt with that, and like I just dealt with like really bad, like I had bone spurs on my neck from whiplash, and I didn't know what it was at first. So anyway, I had 2 cervical epidurals, which are like they inject your epidural space in your spine to take tension off the nerves that go down your back and your shoulder and your neck. So that bothered me while I was skating. My neck was like getting all tight, so I was icing it every fucking day. Anyway, so I had those 2 surgeries, and then I had the 2 other surgeries, so 4 surgeries far, technically, and we're not at the end of the video.
Oh my God.
But the epidural ones are literally, they just put you under, they inject your epidural space, you come up, and it helps the pain. But if you move, you could be paralyzed, right? So, and then I went into deadline going, fuck, okay, let's do this, Greg. And then I was trying to get this trick. There was 2 tricks I was trying to film. One of them was this double kink ledge that I'd already 50-50'd.
Okay.
And it was in a Vans.
The one
it
in
was
Pasadena?
like the one in Pasadena, yeah.
It's like super, like it's like stucco.
Yeah, it's stucco.
Yeah.
So it was sticking, whatever. And I'd grinded it before, and I wanted to switch nose slide it.
Oh.
And I'd gone there to check, and like, I can fucking do this, right? So I'd gone there on the weekend, got kicked out on the Saturday. I'm like, dang it. Well, I had a backup spot. It was a roof gap in the same city.
Okay.
And they were the 2 tricks. I'm like, if I get kicked out of that, I'll just go there.
Gotcha.
So I went to the other spot, got kicked out of it.
Oh.
So I'm like, waited till the next weekend, went back to the double kink, got kicked out again. I'm like, I'm all jazzed up to do the switch nose slide. I'm practicing my switch nose slide. So I got to switch gears and go and skate a roof gap over a fence.
Right.
So I went back to the roof gap, and the roof gap was 2 buildings, and they were offset, the buildings. So I'd be taken off from the edge of one roof. So I'd be pushing 6 inches from the edge of the building for the whole run up, and taken off the corner of one building and landing on the corner of another building with a spiked fence in the middle of the gap with the spikes facing you.
Like
and it wasn't a big gap. The gap was probably like 8 feet, like the gap, and the drop was probably 5 feet. So I knew that like with not much speed, I'm going to get over it. But there's a spike right in the middle of the gap. So I thought, hey, I'm going to do a backside 360 because that way when I take off, I can't see anything. I'm going to be spinning 360 over the top of the spikes. Yeah. And then I'm going to land on the edge of the other building. So if I land on it and I go to the left, I'll ride off the roof.
Okay.
That was what I want to do. I thought, I've never skated anything like that.
Right.
Like, that's what I'm going to do. So I ollied it and ate crap. I ollied it and the roof was quite soft.
Gotcha.
So I landed and went, like, oh, wow, that was like it. It was softer than I thought it was. It was higher drop than I anticipated.
Okay.
So I thought, I'm just going to do the 360 instead, right? Like, I'll just do it because it's, once you've ollied over something and I don't know, I felt pretty confident with that I could get my 360s around. So I tried it a couple of times and I couldn't see a thing. And so I thought, I'm just going to stick one, man. I'm just going to push down and stick one. Because I couldn't see anything, right? Because I was taking off the edge of the building. So as I was pushing, I was looking off the edge of the building going, don't push a little bit further over that way, you know? And right when I took off, you had to make sure that you were composed, right? So I couldn't see what I was doing, and that's what was disorienting me when I was spinning. Okay. So I put one down. I thought, I got this. I'm going to put it down, and it landed like 340.
Okay,
not
just a little bit.
20 degrees short.
Yeah.
To the left, right? Because I'm regular. So the second I landed, I went, I can make this, but I'm going to go off the roof. Within like 2 feet, I'd have been off the roof. So I landed and went, oh shit, and like twisted my body so that I didn't fall off the roof.
Right.
Because my board was trying to take me to the left. And it pushed me straight at the floor really quick, no reaction. All I knew was don't fall off the roof, pull yourself that way.
Yeah.
And my left elbow went in behind my rib cage and I fell onto my arm on the ground, and it banged against my kidneys and bruised them so bad that they bled in all, like the left side of my back cavity. And so I climbed off the roof, and I was with just 2 filmers in Burnett. I was with like Greg Hunt, Jack Mansfield, so they were the two people filming for Vans, and then Mike Burnett, works for Thrasher. He was shooting a photo. And so I thought, bad slam. Like, I thought it bruised my ribs really bad. And so got into the car, and like, I couldn't drive. I had to go sit in the passenger seat. I just thought, like, I've done it before. Have you bruised your ribs before?
Yeah, it's horrible.
Like, it's a horrible feeling.
Horrible.
You know what it feels like. It's uncomfortable. You feel kind of sickly. I thought I'd done that. So we get back to Long Beach, and I'm with Jack, and we go and have a burrito from a burrito joint and a beer. We had a burrito and a beer, and then I went home, and he went home, and I was sitting there, and I just was icing my ribs with my boy, my son, on me. He was hanging out with me, and then I went to bed and couldn't sleep. I just kept moving and moving and moving. And in the middle of the night, like I told my lady, my fiance, and I've had a fiance for 10 years. She's my wife. I love her. She's everything to me. I love you, Sabrina. But yeah, if she hadn't said something, I wouldn't be here.
Wow.
Is what it was. Is I said, I'm going to sleep on the couch. I can't stop moving. I'm just uncomfortable right now, and I'm going to keep you waking up. And I knew I was keeping her awake. So I just went on the couch, and she got up to use the restroom. And she came out from the restroom, and she said, "Are you okay? Can I take you to the hospital?" She's like every girl wants to nurture you.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
She wants to fix you.
Yeah.
It's not fixable. But you can take care of me.
Right. And guys are stubborn too.
Yeah,
they don't
I've
wanna,
just laid it out.
Right.
You can't tell me what to do.
Right.
But she said, she's the voice of reason. She's like, we should go to the hospital. I'm like, no, I'm okay. And I stood up, and when I stood up, like the first time I'd ever felt like this from a slam, I felt sick internally. I didn't feel good. I stood up and went, I don't feel good, but I couldn't pinpoint anything. I just didn't feel well. I felt sick right away.
Okay.
And so I'm like, okay. I just listened to her and said, okay. It was 4 a.m. and my boy was like a year old. Like, so he's up all night anyway. So we have no family on the West Coast. My ladies from the East Coast. So we had to get my son out of bed, throw him in the car, and we went to the hospital. I got on and they did a scan on me straight away, and within minutes I had an IV, and they were rushing me to the hospital for emergency surgery, right?
No way.
Because I was bleeding as they, they took a scan and went, you're bleeding the whole left side of your back cavity, you need to go in. Wow. We need to take you in right now. And so my son got to see that. Like, they're like, you're not doing very well right now, we need to rush you to hospital, we don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
And he's standing there, my little boy's one. And so they took me out, IV'd up. Imagine what that looks like to a 1-year-old.
Oh my
It looks
God.
kind of gnarly, you know.
Totally.
And I didn't know what was going to happen. I got in the ambulance, and I'm like looking at the roof of the ambulance. I'm not going to die here. And I was thinking, what would it take just to kick the back door open? And given the opportunity, what would it take to open the side door and just get out?
Why did you want to?
I don't want to die in the back. I didn't want to die in the back of the ambulance. And when I wasn't sure how bad I was bleeding internally,
And
that goes through your head.
Yeah.
Right? Reality is, I'm in an ambulance. I've got IV, and I'm bleeding internally pretty badly.
Yeah.
And they're rushing me to hospital with the sirens going on, wow, 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 like that. And I'm on deadline for the Vans Propeller video. What the fuck? We've got tricks to make.
Like, this is an
lifeline.
Right. This is an emergency.
Yeah.
Like, they're rushing you
Yeah.
to get into surgery immediately.
They're rushing me because they seen where the blood was, and if it got any worse, like, you can die pretty quick from kidneys, right? But you can also suffer quite a lot with kidneys, right? Like, you can get through it, and you can pretty much obliterate them. They're quite their ability to survive is quite special.
Crazy,
right, kidneys. Anyway, so that's what happened. They rushed me in, and I was in for like 2.5 days, and the bleeding didn't get any worse, but it didn't also subside. So they were monitoring me, and usually kidneys. I think Elijah Burrell's done what I did. I think 2 other times. He's done it twice.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
And he had the surgery, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't have the surgery because it was a bruise. So I had no cut on the kidney. It just bled through the kidney from banging it hard, basically my elbow banging against it with my whole body weight on it.
Right.
And and then I got it out, and the doctor's like, no, you can't skate for like at least 8 months before you can move vigorously.
Wow.
So not even skate, you move vigorously, because at any time during that period you could just start bleeding and keel over and die.
Did you tell him about the propeller deadline?
I said, that's not going to work for me, man. That is not going to work for me. Can you go in the other room, come back in, and tell me what I want to hear?
Right. Yeah.
You can do this, man. You've got 8 months left to film, and if you go at it, like, you could get a few tricks in.
What if he came back in like, you can skate again, but not for 8 months?
That's pretty much it. That's what he said. So, and I'm go out, and then the deadline was like 6 months from there or something.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, I'm done.
That's it.
I can't film anymore. I filmed a little bit of half my video part, whatever. I'm like, oh, that's all good. It's life, right? Sometimes you just get kicked in the ass, and we're all human, and
nothing you can do about it.
No,
unless they push the deadline back.
You shouldn't be upset by it, because it's what we fucking do, and sometimes you don't win every battle, right? Like, the trick is to keep getting back up.
But what sucks is that the people watching the video, they don't know this.
They don't care. They want blood.
They just think that, oh, Geoff didn't really film. Or he didn't just have a lot of... they don't know.
He did a lot of stuff on ditches. He can't skate rails anymore, man. Maybe he can't jump downstairs. He's getting old. Like, maybe he just hunts full time.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying?
He used to be a Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like I win SOTY. No, but it's true though. People don't realize what happens to somebody if they only have a couple clips.
Well, we all judge each other, right? Like, there can be that. Like, a guy's video pod comes in, you go, I know he's better than that, or I know he can do, or I wish he did like more technical shit, or I wish he did some of the gnarliest stuff that we know him for.
There you go.
But that person gets to decide how they skate.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
And like, I enjoyed skate and changing the way that I skate. Yeah, because I got hurt on certain things, but also like the architecture and the things that I wanted to skate, I was looking in different places for that. On roofs, underground, down tunnels,
right,
and
cutting out guardrails to skate into a ditch. I don't know how you thought about skating that.
Or like the Santa Ana riverbed.
Yeah,
I skated across the water there because we drove past every day. And I went, dude, I want to fly over the water.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to fly over water. That was an obstacle that for me, that's a challenge. I've never done something over that, and it's kind of cool. It's like it's a natural obstacle. And the ditches are natural obstacles, and there's banks and transitions naturally in street. Right. And I just thought that's stuff I was starting to like skate in, like, and I shot a lot with Dan Sturt, so I was always looking for stuff that was gnarly but visually was simple and photogenic, right? So we could keep pushing like the photo side of it, the video side of it, and I don't know. And that runs again in line with like the hunting for skate spots, and like once you skate them, you move on to the next one, you find another one. But if it's the same one, if I go to a 20-stair rail right now and lip slide it, which I could do, like, and I can look at a rail right now and go, I can lip slide that. Right. It's not a challenge to me. I've already done it.
You don't want to,
If I'm going to do a lip slide, I want to like do it through a gap in the rail. I want to do it round a corner. I want to do it over a house. Like,
something different.
I want to lip slide the back of my truck over the Santa Ana riverbed. Right. Like, so I'm like, I've never gone on that spot and done that trick and adapted it to that.
And exploring too, exploring the skating and
Yeah. I mean, the ideal spot is if you could find like, a 20 to 30 stair rail or hubba into a 30 to 50 foot bank. Right? I mean, like, if you could find that, then that would dispel all of those questions.
I mean, I would watch.
Can you skate rails? If you can find it's the obstacle dictates what you.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Right, so there's a lot of that, but
I wouldn't.
What's awesome about you is that you skate all these gnarly spots, but like you never stop getting gnarly. A lot of dudes at your age just kind of they're like, dude, I can't. They start skating curves. It's like I can't do that anymore. It's too gnarly. You just stay gnarly, dude.
Jeff's just posting slappies now, like.
I love that, dude.
Physically, I could still do it. I couldn't do it every day, and I couldn't do it every day because I'd fatigue quick because I've broken shitloads of bones, and I'm not a kid, right? And it's all been for skating. Yeah, it's all been while I've been skating, and I'm not gonna like demoralize myself or put myself down and say like, oh, you're old and you're beaten up, and you're like, bullshit. Yeah. I am an older person. And I have been skating the majority of my life, but that doesn't mean I'm done because I've hit a certain age.
Right. Yeah.
That's the way I look at it, really. But the progression's important. Like for me, I wouldn't keep doing it if I couldn't keep learning tricks. And but in order for me to learn tricks, I need to be confident. I need to be thinking about my skating, and I need to be doing it a lot.
There you go.
So that's not something that I can compromise. I can't have a distraction. Like I do a lot of stuff in the outdoors, right?
Yes.
Like I'm a hunting guide and I'm partnered in the hunting outfit in the state of California, and that's different from skateboarding, completely different from skateboarding. But there's a huge physical side of it, and that physical side of it has massive benefits on my skate side.
Okay, yeah.
I walk a lot and climb a lot in the deserts and mountains in California, and we guide everywhere from from zero elevation up to 14,000 feet in California and most of the western states.
Okay.
We do a lot, but I don't go to a gym. I don't have a personal trainer. I've had those things from surgeries like everybody. You'll go to your doctor, whether you've been skating for 6 months or 10 years. I'm going to talk to the camera. It's a physical challenge to get back to 100%.
Yeah.
And the amount of dudes that I've been friends with that have been such good skateboarders, so talented, and they break their ankle, then they break their arm, and they're not the same.
Right.
They lost their confidence, their drive, and they lost time. Right? And during that period of time, that drive went, or that progression went. And I've always been aware from the first time that happened, because I broke my ankles pretty young, and so I knew that like you could get taken out.
Yeah.
You could get taken away at any moment.
There you go. Yeah.
Right? So if you want to come back to the best of your ability, you got to work harder every single time. And like, I don't have a problem with physical exercise or work, not like labor. I like that.
Yeah.
It keeps my body moving. And we do a lot of it skating, right? And like, so the flip side to that is if I can breathe good and if I have good upper body strength and good core strength from actually using those things, like to the best of I'm pushing myself in that realm as far as I can go, which I do, just like my skating. Has a massive effect on my skateboarding. It has a massive effect on my motivation to skate. It has a massive effect on my attitude, and it makes me want to continue to skate and to continue to push myself and continue to just go balls to the wall.
There you go.
Because that's not something I'm going to compromise.
Right.
Because that's the way that I like to skate.
Yeah.
You know? And like, I would stop skating tomorrow. I would retire. I would walk away, and you'd never see me again if I lost all of that drive and wasn't interested in skating anymore. And that can happen to a person, and it's not bad.
Absolutely.
Like, we all think that skateboarders live all and die all of everything, but there's a world outside of that.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes tapping into that can give you more reasons and make skateboarding make it more special at times, right? Like, you value your skating more if you pull yourself away from it. When you go back to it, you go, I'm doing it right now. Like, I might not be here later.
There you go. Yeah.
Time for me is that.
Right.
You know, I'm racing against time. You get this one body right now, and I gotta run it.
There you go. Yeah. I know we just mentioned the hunting stuff, but I wanted to ask you real quick, is there any tricks that you've done? I mean, you've done a lot of tricks. Something that you're super proud of, or something that sticks out, something gnarly, or just that shouldn't have gone down, but it did, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember the moments. You know what I mean? Like some of that stuff feels like more than like the tricks, right? Because it's the conquering those challenges, I think.
Yeah.
Right, like is what I remember. And this, like when I was a kid, like I wanted to always like faster, further, right? Like that was the kind of skating that I pushed. And like, so some of that stuff, I'm psyched on, like the roof gap stuff, and like, like over the Santa Ana River, like things like that, where like you can't find that spot everywhere. It's only here in Southern California, or it's in this particular place right there. Boom. Like those things, I remember those things a lot. And then, but more periods of time is what I remember about my skating, like what it felt like, you know, in the whatever 5 years ago.
Yeah. How
I felt on my board. You know, I evaluate that a lot. Like, you know, it's important to keep that fire burning, right? And like making those videos and finishing them, like you've documented that period of your time, right? And so like most of my like good and bad memories from periods of filming are more like they don't just cover one particular trick, you know. And like some tricks for me that aren't hard, I've done quite easily without getting hurt, and other stuff that seemed to be quite easy, I've had the crap kicked out of me. So they're just challenges, right? They're all just challenges. Like, you know, is the way I look at it. And you know, failure to failure, without loss of enthusiasm.
Now listen, let's talk about the hunting thing, right? Because the hunting thing, listen, there's some people, there's hunters, they grow up hunting, it's a part of their lifestyle. There's other people who hate it, you know. It's very, and I'm sure you get a lot of both. I'm sure you get a lot of people hitting you up on Instagram, probably telling you
good and bad things. It's a big spectrum,
right.
You know?
Yeah, that's what,
It's a big spectrum. I understand it though. I mean, in the majority of like the hunting industry, like a lot of what it shows is a dead animal with somebody standing next to the dead animal smiling. There's blood on the animal. It's hard for somebody that's not done that or there to know what it took to be there and what that feels like. But it's easy to judge it.
Sure.
Because a person's smiling, an animal's dead, whatever it might be, it's dead and there's blood on it. It gives you an emotion. Blood usually does. It has an emotion to it, right?
Totally.
So that's where it struggles to begin with, the way that it represents itself.
Right.
You know, and I know 9 times out of 10 that's coming from a good place, you know, and it's, you know, it provides a huge, important resource that we all benefit from, you know.
How so? What do you mean?
How so? Well, I live in the state of California.
Yeah.
I hunt in the state of California. And if I want to hunt an animal, I got to do it legally, right?
Yeah.
So I need to pass a hunting education course, which will allow me to then go and buy a hunting license.
Okay.
So I'm paying for the hunting education course. It's run by the state, right? And then I am paying for my hunting license, which is an annual hunting license. And then to simplify all this, if I want to go and, let's say, hunt an animal that I don't have to apply for, so basically go on a lottery system, In California, I can go hunt a pig year round. I can hunt coyotes year round.
Okay.
There's a lot of bird hunting opportunities for the majority of the year. And so I pay for that.
Yeah.
And that goes into our public resource.
Okay.
For example.
Sure.
I'm putting money into that public resource. You don't hunt, right? I'm just going to guess.
No.
Do you put any money into that public resource?
I would assume maybe
through your taxes and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll pick a desert bighorn sheep. Huge animal, very iconic out in the desert. Our state of California spends about $150,000 a year on conservation for that particular species. 93% of that comes from people like myself applying for the opportunity to go hunt that animal. Okay. 93% of that 150,000, roughly, numbers. Don't quote me on numbers, we're close though. Right? That's a lot. 93% of the money to manage that animal every year comes from hunters.
Gotcha.
So the other 7% comes from the general public, roughly.
Okay. Gotcha.
Right, so that hunter puts a lot more into that public resource at day one than the person that doesn't.
And what does the public resources do? What do the funds do for the...
It manages the animals and the wild lands, that are public land that we all have access to.
Okay.
So if I can help... We have a really loud
noise
in here. But
they're doing something upstairs. I don't know.
So they're doing construction upstairs.
Pretend like it's thunder. We're in the desert. The weather's coming in really badly. But for example, the state of California gives one opportunity to hunt and harvest a bighorn sheep to a conservation organization every year in the state of California. I think this year is doing it with 2 tags. But whatever. One, that tag has sold for upwards of $200,000 to $300,000.
Okay.
Every single penny of that money goes into conservation for that particular species in the state of California by law. Can't be used to buy a new truck for game and fish. It can only be used for field studies. It can be used for things that directly benefit the species on the ground conservation.
Okay.
So it's the best way to affect the natural resource and our funding for it. So if that tag sold for, let's just say it sold for $200,000, that's more than the state budget that year.
That's way more, yeah.
If I can find a big animal in the desert and we can find a client to pay quite a lot of money for that opportunity, who benefits? The natural resource benefits from that, with all of that funding money, which hopefully will help grow the numbers and keep the herds healthy, which is a public resource. We all own that public resource. So that hunting tag essentially has just doubled the state budget for the death of one animal. And likely all of that meat's going to be eaten also.
Okay.
There's my best example for you on how it directly, what it is that we do as hunters in the state of California that the general public benefits from.
The only way for you to kill that animal is if you have those tags, right?
Yeah.
So if there's only allowing 2 tags, only 2 animals that are dying.
Well, that's for the conservation tags. And I don't want to confuse anyone that's watching. Like, the state budget, like I said, the best way to explain that is that one sale of one tag can double to triple the state budget, and it's no impact on the population. It's the death of one animal.
Yeah.
You know, and we have thousands and thousands of desert sheep, and it's important. The more money we have to manage them, the healthier they'll be. The more we know about them, the better we can manage them. Costs money to manage things, costs money to study things. And hunters in the state of California do the majority and put the majority of the money and funding into that particular species. So it's a good example of how like hunters can do something that's positive and have a huge impact on a public resource that we all benefit from.
It's interesting. I'm not a hunter. I'm a gatherer. You know, that's what.
What have you gathered lately?
I don't know, but I'm not.
Gathered your socks out of the bedroom on the floor.
Actually, I had to do laundry the other day. But it's interesting because I'm sure you'd get a lot of people.
Yeah, I get both sides.
Both sides,
I get
right?
Like the more I do it, and I don't throw much of it on my skate because it's nothing to do with skateboarding, man. It's what I do. I love to do it, and I have no problem showing what it is that I do. But I'm a pro skater. That's what I do first and foremost. I don't want it to be a distraction, and that can be a distraction. But I can still do that. So I don't have to promote it. Social media is an interesting thing, right? You're supposed to put everything you do online. No.
Right.
Not necessarily. And what I do in the outdoor and hunting space, like, I don't feel the need to glorify it. I don't feel the need to show everything that I do.
Yeah.
Why?
Right.
I enjoy doing it.
There you go.
I love doing it. And I know I have a positive impact. And and my skating benefits from it.
I was just about to say, because you were saying earlier about how you have to go hiking and you have to do all this and you're going up in different elevations and your lung capacity and everything.
There's a lot to learn. I have a lot to learn. My partner in the outfit, his name's Jake Franklin. He's incredibly talented outdoorsman. Mm-hmm. And he teaches me everything that I need to know to make sure that when I'm on those hunts that I can be as helpful and as useful as I possibly can be.
Right.
So I kind of cover a lot of our desert units. So I spend a lot of time out in the desert for sheep, sheep. So a lot of scouting, so a lot of walking in the desert, a lot of climbing in the desert, and a lot of setting cameras and moving cameras and watching desert sheep. So I spend a lot of time patterning them and watching them, and that's a lot of time. But that's the most physical stuff that we do year round, so I do that.
Okay, gotcha.
Right? So when we book desert sheep hunts in California, I'm going to be on that hunt.
Oh yeah,
yeah, because they're physical, which I like. I want more. The more physical I can get, the better. Because my skating's always going to benefit from me pushing myself physically, right? Like, because it doesn't beat me up the same way. It's more covering ground, and it's more upper body strength than skate.
Yeah.
So I'm carrying stuff a lot and lifting things a lot. And using different things that I would in skate, using my brain in different ways, doing a lot of map work. I spend a lot of time staring at maps, understanding field navigation, understanding the lay of land. Boring. Like, what the fuck?
Wait, have you had any crazy encounters with like animals?
Well, we've had all kinds of shit happen, but like, like the animals that I'm focused on helping, and the animals that I help guide for, which is mostly desert sheep. I help on Thule elk hunts, which is our only native elk that we have in the state of California. Did you know in the state of California we have more big game animals than any other state in the United States? And we're the only state to have all species of elk. So we have all of the 4 different species of elk, and then we have more big game animals in the state of California than any other state in the United States.
Wow,
crazy.
So our big game opportunities are better than people think, And as a state, it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, our deserts and mountains are incredible. Our cities have got the best skate spots. Our foothills have got the best banks and handrails, and
best ditches.
all of our water's been dammed up. We pull it from Colorado and NorCal, right? So we've got the best drainage ditches in the Southwest. Like, just saying, man. Like, paradise for me, it's right. Like, I'm living it.
No, it's interesting.
I do find, this is crazy, Christo. I do find quite a lot of spots when I'm out in driving back roads or driving roads or places that we wouldn't usually and ordinarily go.
Right.
Like, a lot of the stuff, a lot of the hunting stuff that I do, like, we're going to places that are pretty remote with limited access, and I find like great skate spots. And like the video we're working on right now, like I'm in the middle of filming a Vans video. I'm pretty much on deadline. We're at like a couple more months of filming.
Oh wow, there you go.
Finished a full video part. So I'm looking for spots like crazy right now. Like, I'm a lunatic. Like, do you know any spots, Kelly? Got any good ones? I need to see all of it.
I know a mani pad for you.
Yeah, I know.
You
Great.
got one?
He's got a mani pad for you.
Oh, no, I find some handrails. I got a crazy gap trail down the street.
Do you?
That Bob Gnarly skated way long ago. You know who Bob Gnarly is?
Nah, not off the top of my head, no.
Okay,
Is he like
there's a
Bob
gap trail-
Burnquist, but gnarlier?
Yeah, not as gnarly as Bob Burnquist. Gap trail down the street. But, I mean, wait, on the side, didn't you guys get robbed the other day or something like that?
Oh, yeah, I was filming a freaking few days ago on Sunday morning. I was trying to skate a spot under a bridge under the 405 freeway, but quite a lot of like road traffic. So I had to keep my eye on the road, and I was on one side of the road, and I had a Vans filmer, Ryan Lovell, and Anthony Acosta, who's their staff photographer. He was shooting photos. So I had 2 dudes there, video and photo guy. And you'll love this. You will love this one.
I've
This
heard
is
the story.
awesome.
Yeah.
Did you hear it?
Yeah,
it's
I've
so
read your
sick.
Instagram, yeah.
I was on the top of the bank under the bridge trying to get this trick, looking at traffic for my window to go. Like, okay, the traffic light stopped red. Okay, go now. Like literally to get the trick so that I didn't fall and get ran over.
Okay.
And so the video guy and photographer guy were moving from the center median to the other side of the road, just changing angles when the light was changing as we were trying to get the trick. Right? Okay. And they were on my side of the road, and out of nowhere, I was on the top of the bank. A pickup truck just pulls completely right in front of the bags on the other side of the road. And I mean, you could run and grab the bags in like seconds.
Oh.
The pickup truck went from 35 miles an hour to just stopped immediately. The passenger door opened, a girl jumped out, grabbed the camera bag, which was all of Acosta's gear, about $25,000 worth of beautiful camera equipment, all kinds of like a new camera he'd got, a new lens he'd got, just beautiful stuff. And then the filmer's phone was on the top of the bag.
Oh.
So the person got out and just threw the bag in the back of the pickup truck and peeled out. Acosta jumped on the other side of the road, tried to stand in front of the car, going, no. Like, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, that's my bag, man.
Right.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And they put the middle finger up out the window,
Okay.
right, and just peeled out. And this happened in seconds.
Wow.
Right? And they were gone. We're like, that just happened.
And they got
nothing I
photos.
can do. I'm like 60 feet away from it, and he's in a car driving away.
No
Not much you can do.
way.
And so Anthony just immediately starts shooting sequences of the dude and the license plate.
Sure.
And Ryan, the filmers, immediately starts filming the car as it's driving away. So I don't know if they even like thought like, oh, we're going to get filmed and photographed while we steal this bag. I don't even know if they knew what was in it. I just think they just thought they can steal this shit right now. It's
Get it.
easy.
Yeah.
Quick fix. What happened was the cops caught them within 10 minutes, right? And within those 10 minutes, they'd already stashed the camera bag and all the gear. This was like on Sunday, a few days ago.
Oh, my God.
And so Anthony called the police. 10 minutes later, they called back and said, we've got them. We caught them down the road on the same street at the traffic light, making a right.
What?
And they didn't confess to it.
No.
And they didn't have the bags. We're like, dang it. They stashed it. From here to where we're at right now to where they were pulled over and arrested, the bags are somewhere here.
No
so I start
way.
scouring, Anthony and I and Ryan start scouring the edge of the freeway and the bushes and all the homeless, like just corners that you could find to see if because they stashed it somewhere and they only had 10 minutes to do so. So there's only so far they could get.
Right.
So we go back to our cars, we meet the cop, I tell him the story, and we go from there. And anyway, he goes back to the station, and grills the girl, and the girl breaks down because she knew that they were going to... Anthony was going to have to have pressed charges against him. They blatantly stole $25,000 worth of camera equipment.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a good felony.
and then we're hiding the fact that they'd done it, even though we filmed them.
Right.
They were done, basically. So she knew that, like... So we told, like, there was a, hey, we won't... Like, Anthony won't press charges if you tell him where the gear is. We played that card, seeing if they'd say. And anyway, but anyway, she broke down, said, back to the travel lodge. And right when she said that, we were, myself, Ryan, and Acosta were all split up, about to hit all of the spots and go in the back after we'd already done it once.
Right.
But we hadn't covered that side of the road.
Interesting.
So, and it was right there. Got all the gear
Right.
back. Thank you to Costa Mesa Police Department. They did an excellent job. I'm not shitting you. They found out we worked with Vans.
Oh.
Right? And Vans has just moved their corporate office into Costa Mesa.
Yeah.
And they said, we want to do everything we can to pretty much let you know that we value you being in the city and like, we know you're skating the spot, but we're going to do everything we can to help you out right now.
Wow.
I'm stoked on that.
I mean, that is quick.
Within 10 minutes, they caught them and we got all our gear back. It's pretty rad. It never happens like that.
No.
So
Yeah.
No.
you've got to thank a higher power for that because it doesn't usually happen like that, does it?
Pick the wrong filmers and photographers to rob.
I had a lens stolen from me through ShareGrid, the rental system they do.
Okay.
I have the dude's ID,
Yeah.
all his information. Cops are out there looking for him. They haven't caught him yet.
And they have an ID.
Well, there you go.
When did this happen?
This is months ago.
You haven't got it back yet?
We'll put it on the experience. We can expose him and have everyone go look for him.
Yeah, dude.
Get the Costa
Fuck
Mesa
that,
police
dude.
involved,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
Sound like they do a good job.
They honestly did they did a great job.
That's
they were
amazing,
awesome.
dude. Do you still do the old, what was it, the civil...
Silverware knives.
Silverware?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Silverware service program. Or silverware...
No, close.
Please
It's
say
called
it.
silverware.
Silverware.
Yeah.
Not the silverware on the table.
It's a play of silverware
Okay.
and Civil War.
You make interesting things, right? I
We
mean, you make anything
we make
from...
knives, tools, and like specialty outdoor gear, but we make like task-driven knives, basically. So knives that serve a particular purpose. They're designed for a particular task. We make skinning knives for the outdoor industry, so for hunters and fishermen.
Okay.
So they can process the animals. We make fixed blades that would run with that, so go accompany that. Because some people like scalpels to skin animals, and other people like fixed blades.
Like a scalpel they would use
Yeah,
to...
like you use to do
surgical.
actual surgical, except our scalpels are a little higher grade than what most surgeons would use. They're nitrate coated titanium scalpels.
Okay.
Jeez,
Okay.
dude.
I don't know what that... Yeah, but it sounds...
Sounds check.
Razor blades go on the head of the knife, and you can take the razor blade off, throw it away, put a new one on.
Oh.
So replaceable, disposable razor blade knife.
Should make one for grip tape.
Yeah, could do that.
Yeah.
But we don't
good.
really do skate stuff.
Oh,
Right? Like, but we could. But it's nice. I'm partnered in like an out. I'm a hunting guide, and I partnered in an outfitting business. So in California, and like we use knives a lot. Mm-hmm. So I develop product through the time that I spend in the field, and I see some and maybe don't like the way that it functions, thinks we can make it better.
Yeah.
And I develop it through that brand. So we have a showroom, a small retail store in Costa Mesa.
Okay.
In what street's it on? It's on Randolph, and right behind the camp and the lab near South Coast Plaza. And
Oh, yeah.
right in the mix. We have a showroom there, and I have my office in there. And
Okay.
yeah, that's like a side project that I do that like
Nice.
helps like I enjoy developing product.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I use stuff, and if I use something and think that like it could be made better, it bugs me.
Yeah.
And knives was something that like I've used in my whole life, like safely in all the outdoor stuff that I do. Not really anything in the city other than your pocket knife,
Sure.
right? But I just feel a lot of those knife brands are just boring. They're outdated. Like they just, the way that they look, the way that they present, and I just wanted to do something a little fresher, a little younger, and better quality design product. I found like a lot of the designs of that stuff with the competitors are a little outdated. And maybe some of the like the scalpel knives that we make that just strictly wasn't on the market. And so I see opportunities like that. I try to develop it through that brand, and it's fun.
Sounds like you're having fun. Yeah.
I enjoy it. I mean, it's a crazy business. It's not an easy business to crack. I mean, it's low grade industrial manufacturing, right? So a lot of labor, and your biggest cost is your raw goods and your labor,
right?
And you can't cut them, right? Because your end product and your quality, your end product is what you're selling. Wow. That's why I'm doing it. I want to make better stuff than the next company, right? Like that's why I'm doing it. I'm not doing it just to do it because I think it'd be cool to have a knife. To go buy a knife if I want to just have a cool knife. Like there's I think there's improvements to be made.
That's
with
amazing.
The manufacturing and the engineering, and so that's a challenge for me, and it's a constant learning curve. And again, it makes the skate product fun to do. Right? And I just started making skateboards again, right? And the hand screened the first boards I did for that same thing. Like the process of it, like I enjoy, understanding the manufacturing process of the stuff that it is that we have our names on. I've been in that space and worked on my own product the whole time I've been a skater, right? So some of those brands are like a product of that experience and a product of, what I've learned over the years, or stuff that I've just kind of put on the back burner too, And like the outdoor stuff that I do, being able to make knives, develop knives, use knives, is fun.
Yeah,
dude. And I'm fortunate I get the opportunity to do that, so I'm doing it.
I never really looked at a knife before in the aspect of it being old or outdated, or to me a knife's just a knife. I use it to cut my
pointing
grip tape.
case, right? Because it's an awesome tool, right? But it wasn't that exciting, right? But I enjoy it. I think it's a great product. I mean, I'm a big fan of firearms too. That's a tough point, like for skate culture, and it's a tool. And they're to be treated accordingly with due respect.
Absolutely.
But I enjoy it. Like, and I'm a big fan of like open sight firearms, revolvers, lever action, shotguns. But I don't. I prefer my own personal hunting, or when I go and shoot for fun and target shoot for fun.
Right.
I don't like scopes, so I like to use open sights or iron sights, so metal sights, and I enjoy it. It's good for hand-to-eye coordination and the discipline.
The discipline.
Yeah, like there's not many things that you have to handle to that capacity, right? Like it's treated differently to some other tools and weapons. You can't leave it around. You can't have it pointed in a particular direction.
Absolutely.
There's a process to it, and a discipline to it. And I enjoy that.
Okay.
In my life, I enjoy having something that's disciplined that I have to treat with due respect.
Right.
And it serves a tool. But I enjoy the manufacturing of it. I like old revolvers, and that's one of the reasons why I started making knives and stuff too. Just the mechanics and the simple engineering of a revolver is a beautiful product, beautiful design.
Oh. Yeah.
And I felt like knives should be in that realm. They should be held with from a design standpoint and a manufacturing standpoint, with a little bit more regard.
Interesting, yeah.
And it's kind of brushed over a little bit. So
there you go.
Yeah.
So you're bringing that back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know your firearms is always a mute point, isn't it? Like everything these days.
Well,
but like I partake.
Yeah.
You know, and I enjoy them for the reasons that I said. Like they're not easy to master. Every single firearm has its requirements and its capabilities and its parameters. Right. And so there's a learning curve with all of that, and it's no different than evaluating your kick flips. Right. Certain boards and certain concaves you can do some stuff on, and same with like firearms that you'll struggle to get the job done if you're using the wrong firearm at the wrong time.
Oh yeah. I've gone skeet shooting before.
Have you?
The shotgun, yeah.
That's fun.
It's fun.
You enjoy it?
I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah. Good.
One thing I did find out, though, I've got a strong shoulder.
Do you?
Yeah, because the people I would go with,
their
shoulders would get sore from firing. And I could go all day. I'm just
Must have good posture. It's usually the girls though. It's usually the girls that shoot better.
Really?
Yeah, because they listen.
Oh yeah.
Girls listen, so they follow directions. So if you say, okay, hold it like this, point it like this, they're not freaked out by it. They in fact like that you're talking to them like that. Okay,
Right.
like that, boom, done.
Right.
Dude's already like this. He's already shooting it before you've had.
I shoot a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Pull.
Yeah.
You mentioned the board company, FreeDome.
Yeah.
How's that going, bro? What's going on with that? You screen your own boards.
Oh, I hadn't had
which
a
is
board out.
amazing.
I haven't had a board out in a few years.
Yeah.
Right, which is weird for me. Having like been a pro skater since I was a kid.
Sure.
And not weird in an uncomfortable way. Just a different chapter in my life. Right, and so I just started to put out some boards right now for fun.
Yeah.
I've had a few years to really evaluate like the skate industry, skate products, skate brands. What do I like? What do I don't like?
Yeah.
Who's full of it? Who rules? Like, I've been able to objectively step out of being in a business and just look at the act, and the industry and enjoy that. And, it's given me good perspective. And yeah, I didn't want to, I'm doing boards now, but I'm not going to sit there and go, hey, I have a massive business plan. I'm going to roll it out. Like the way that a skateboard company acts is important to me.
Yes.
What it promotes is important to me, and so that's what I'm focused on.
Okay.
Right, and so we just put one board out. It's a custom shape. It's a concave that's never been in production. It was a concave that I've ridden on and off for a while.
Okay.
And so it's just one board, and we put it out, and we just called up a bunch of skate shops in the US, like stores that I liked. I like a lot of skate shops. I can't know everybody. I can't meet everybody. I can't have a personal relationship with everybody. But certain skate shops, I've stayed around. They're doing a great job, and we just called up them shops and say, hey, most of them probably know who I am. I've been in the industry for a shitload of years.
Yeah. They might know
product in the store, and the ones that wanted to take them, we took them. We didn't force anything.
Sure.
We just and if they liked the graphics, then you take them. We'd be stoked if you would.
Yeah.
I think almost every single one of them took them.
Right.
And so just doing it slow,
Yeah.
enjoying that creative process. We have the first full collection of gear coming out shortly, and we're going to move at the pace that I want.
Yeah. It's important. It's important.
And I want to the product's important to me too. Like,
Yeah.
I want to do good board shapes. Like, I hate all these jacked up, lame board shapes that don't serve any purpose. They just look cool, but they don't serve a purpose. A lot of those shapes are developed to be able to do different styles of tricks and different ways to skate.
Yeah.
And so I'm focused on the little things like that, just doing new board shapes that are like, they serve a purpose. Like a board more, let's say, who makes a small wheelbase board for a 12-year-old kid? Who makes a 8.5-inch board with a 12-inch wheelbase? Nobody.
Yeah.
When I was 12, I bought a Bill Danforth board, Alva Bill Danforth. It's massive. It was probably 9 inches, and the wheelbase was massive because I liked the way he skated, and I wanted to be a big dude.
Right.
I was a little kid and I wanted to be a big guy. For example, I want to fucking make a good skateboard for a kid that's been skating for a year or two but wants a wider board but not a weird gimmicky board from the 80s that's outdated.
Sure.
That to me is fun because I'm developing a new thing for maybe a kid, and it might affect him and he might be psyched on it.
Yeah.
And no one's doing it. So like little things like that.
I don't think nobody's
Baby
thinking
steps.
about it.
Yeah.
Baby steps, And so just enjoy the process and make sure like I'm not buying a load of product and sitting on any inventory, and then do what I can to help the skate shops, like help their culture and help their scene. I'm going to try and do as much of that as I possibly can. And, so some of the initiatives are going to be different.
Yeah.
Some of them are going to be focused on like, what can I do to help that scene?
Very cool.
Right?
Yeah.
Like skate shops are important.
Yeah.
Not every skate shop's important. It's not. But a lot of skate shops are really important in a scene. They've nurtured it. They've kept the dream alive in a lot of those cities, including the city that I grew up in. Like, I'm sponsored by a skate shop. It's called Lost Art. It's from Liverpool, England.
Okay.
And the guy that owns the company and started the skate shop has done everything he can to nurture that scene the whole time I've been in the US.
It's amazing.
And he's incredible, right? Like, he's a great dude. And without that in the city, like, as an example for me, like, no one else would have found it special enough to do that. right? And that skate shop owner that makes that effort and puts his life into having a skate shop and nurturing that local skate scene, being cool to the little kids that come in your shop, not being a dick to them.
Yeah, it's
right,
important.
being cool to the older dudes, just building a good, healthy scene like that's inviting and opens the door. Like that's what's rad about what we do, right? Like you know, and you know, so I want to make sure that doesn't disappear.
Yeah,
you know, I don't care what anyone says about all like direct to consumer and everything that everyone. Stores are important, right?
Yeah,
because it's the first point of contact between the kid that skates and your brand.
Absolutely.
Right, and like the world is changing, right? And we can't answer everybody, but with the skate company, it's creative outlet, no rules, all skateboarding.
Wow. Yeah,
You
man.
know? So we'll have riders, we'll do that, but other than that, I don't have any plans.
No.
Like creatively, I'm just going to open the floodgates and enjoy the process every single time I sit down to do a piece of skate product or anything to do with the brand. I'm not going to overthink it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to overanalyze it. I'm not going to try to push it too much. I'm just going to try to do it, fill it through and carry on and keep that creative process open.
Yeah, love it. Right. And so you guys are going to make a new video?
Deadline soon.
Yeah.
The last time I spoke to Jake Phelps was like a few weeks ago before he passed. And I said, hey, Jake, I'm going to start a skateboard company. And he said, about fucking time. What's the name? I said, what should I call it? And he said, wheel bite.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
That's what he said to me. He said, wheel bite, that's the only thing that skateboarding owes you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
So that's your wheel brand.
That's the wheel brand.
There you go. Yeah.
No, I love Jake. Jake just passed.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to, every opportunity to mention him, I'm going to just keep mentioning
There you go. Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah. I love it, man.
What's the company called?
FreeDome.
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 Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe. Oh, you might change it.
Yeah, why not?
There you go.
Don't put boundaries on like a creative outlet, right? And we've put one board out.
That's great. Yeah.
Okay. A lot of the shops, we send a few extra boards to them.
Oh, really?
Right. So there's a reason why I said free all over it. And,
Yeah.
right? I'm not going to say anymore. Fuck,
Okay.
I've already fucked it up. Shit. Now you think you know what you think, right? I'm going to blow your brains
There you
out.
go.
There we go.
Listen, new Vans video.
Yeah.
Are you happy with what you have so far?
I'm psyched.
Are you? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm psyched. Like I skated like most of the summer, like last summer. So I filmed for like the whole summer basically, and then I didn't film much from like October through to January. I was filming the whole time, but not nonstop.
Right.
And so I filmed like crazy for like 3 or 4 months, and then I went into my hunting season which keeps me in shape.
Okay.
So I'm coming out of that. So I filmed for like, I don't know, 6 months mostly,
Yeah.
and I've pretty much finished.
If it came out today, you'd be totally content.
The song that I have that I laid over it is the exact same duration as what I had to the second of what I've filmed so far.
That's good.
I've been skating a lot. When I'm in good shape and I skate a lot and I have a positive mental attitude every time I skate, a lot more productive.
Yeah, for sure. Right.
but really, like truly, like I'm just listening to my body. I know that like if I'm like I have 3-4 months of straight filming, which for somebody that's watching this goes, that doesn't mean shit to me. I skate every day and I feel great, right? When we're filming these videos, they're pretty physical. Like even if you were 20, like you might fall on a rail that you want to do and be out for 2 months
Exactly.
with a tweaked ankle, and then you film 8 more tricks, and then like you get 6 tricks one day, and then you don't get anything for 3 months.
For sure.
These windows, and like I've had a good window.
Good.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I'm just thankful for that. It's not, I don't believe in luck. You know, it's you make your decisions,
Make
you
your
make
own
your
luck.
bed,
Yeah.
in it, right? And if the thing that happens that you wanted to happen happens, well, you played a part in that, you played a role in that. But I've been skating a lot, and I've been enjoying my skating, and you know, and I've been really focused on street skating because I know I'm not getting any younger, straight up, right? Like,
Yeah.
like I don't do these interviews very much. I don't even really, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah.
I like to go out and skate.
Right.
And right now, that's kind of like where you asked how many times for me to come on the show. And every time I wanted to come on the show because I'm a fan of what you guys do and I'm a fan of skating. I have no problem talking about skating and I have no problems talking about any aspect of that, right?
Yeah.
Especially with like-minded people that just, you're doing it for the same reasons. You love doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
I loved it. Yeah. I texted him and he was like, hey man, I'm just skating. I want to come on the show, but I'm just skating right now. I was like, fucking, that's awesome, dude. That's cool. That's
and then
great.
a week later, I could say, hey, can't come on the show. That's what happened, right? You know. But
No, I was going to ask you though, when you film a video part, do you have like a vision in head or in mind of like what you're trying to do for that video part, like a song, trick list song, or are you just kind of free flowing?
never had a trick list of anything. I have things in my head or things I want to connect up or certain things that I learned that like maybe I haven't filmed, so I want to film certain styles of things. Like each video, there's a few things usually where you can see like some of the stuff that you were influenced by, right? Like I could break down my skating in a nutshell and give a full spectrum of who did what and why I want to do that trick, right? Like I was, for one of the videos I was filming a few years ago, I was really influenced by early Natus.
Okay.
Right? And what I liked was all of the hang-ups and all of the bash in his trucks he would do. So like he would go full speed, backside ollie, axle stall on a curb.
Right.
Full speed to a stalled axle stall standing there.
Yeah.
So a 6 foot flat ground
And
backside ollie
ollie
to 50-50 on a curb and stand there and then just plop off.
Right.
Right. And then he would like go over gaps and bash the back truck when he was doing it in Reason for Living. It was a Santa Cruz Reason for Living video. And I thought like, nah, man, that's like slashing. Right? It's like slashing, like where you're hanging up and doing all this stuff. So I had this little period where I was trying to like rip my back truck off.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Like just, so you get influenced by different things.
What
And
do you do, like frontside flip to do, do that,
Okay,
right?
I broke like 4 boards doing it.
Yeah.
Every time I got, and the whole point was, it's not, you've got to keep moving the same speed you took off, or it's kind of you faking it. You got to do it the right way, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to feel
Didn't
what
you
it
ollie a
felt
roof
like.
gap and hang up?
Yeah, that's the same thing. It's the same video.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That same thing of like ding,
Yeah.
like that. Like, where can I find one that is like the biggest one I could do that I know I can get done, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's hard to find those. So that was
See,
the
I thought
best
that was
I
an
could find.
accident you did. I didn't know it was
And on purpose?
said, hey, this is
tell
a
you
back
what, like,
truck.
I did like these container down at the Long Beach port years ago. I had a Vans ad doing this container gap thing. It was like 4 containers to 3 containers or something like that. And I almost hung up on the first one.
Oh, jeez.
On that, like on the roof gap, not intentionally.
Right.
That was terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Be able to look down a
Oh my
hole
God.
and go, I'm not going to get there. I got to get there.
Yeah.
Like that. But when you're doing it intentionally, it takes on a whole different realm because you have to go 1 hair slower than you would to clear it. But if you go 2 hairs slower and you land on towards the front of your board versus the back, your body's got to get over, right?
Sure.
So a certain amount of your body, more than half your body weight's got to go over.
Oh my God.
Like that. Like, and that's a different way of, that's like a new lip trick, right?
Sounds
Because you can do it on anything. Right,
Sounds
like
terrifying.
kinda, like so. I enjoy kind of like just each video, kind of like no trick list, but certain styles
certain
or things
style.
I want to push at a little bit, you know. And then you know, but like right now, I just want to go out in the streets, and try to film a little bit of everything.
There you go.
Right, that's what's keeping it fun right now. Is not skating the same thing twice, and you know, and so I've just been skating a bunch, and we're at the tail end of it. And
I'm
it's
looking
fun.
forward to it, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Last
Appreciate
part?
that. Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Like, we had a video that we were going to make, and it's changing.
Okay.
Because the world that we live in.
Exactly.
Right? Like, you put something out one day, someone wants it again the next day. Okay? So, and injuries. We had some injuries when we were filming. So, we'll see what the project looks like, but I'll have a video part in
There you
like the
go.
next couple of months. And, you know, psyched on that.
I
Like,
love
I can
it.
die today, and at least I got some footage. It'll come out. Fuck.
There you
Yeah.
go.
No, but
We never talked about French Fred at all because I know you filmed a lot with him in the early days, but
yeah.
what was it like filming with him, dude?
Every night we'd come home, we'd watch old skate videos, and it was either Fred or myself pulling an old clip from an old skate video going, how did he film that? Where was he standing? What gear was he using? And how did he make it look like that? And so, like, with Fred, a lot was that. Like the Frangle, right?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So, yeah, like, it was fun. Like, I had a lot of fun with Fred. Like, I've got nothing but great things to say about him. He's the best video guy, him and Greg, that we have in our industry, and like they're the funnest for me to film with because they make you look better than you are. Right, like,
right.
You look through what they film, and they are so talented that they make you look as good as you can look, and better than you've seen yourself look. And that's motivating.
Yeah.
Especially when you're doing like the bigger stuff and that, right? Like to look back and go, okay, Greg Hunt's here, he's filming it. I know that Greg knows where I'm at mentally right this very second, and I trust that he's going to get it. I feel the same way about Fred. He's the most stable cameraman that there is. He's like a surgeon.
Right.
Yeah. With his fish-eye, he's so steady.
That's important to know
It's
that the other
motivating.
guy has got you.
Yeah, he's got you, and he cares enough about you to give it the, give
He's
it the
like,
best
he cares more about yours, or just as much as you're skating than you do.
Well, he wants to progress his filming too, right?
Yeah.
Like he goes out and films you doing a trick, and you filming a crooked grind. He doesn't want to film a crooked grind fisheye again. Like he's done it 800 times, and in that same video there might be 8 angles of 8 guys doing the same trick. How can you film it 8 different ways?
Yeah.
There was a lot of that with Fred, like always, and like was like, what can you do? Like, you're so talented that you can push the boundaries of what people would think they could do filming and get away with it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's amazing.
And so, I don't know. He's so talented, old Fredo.
Oh, yeah. Big fan. Roger's pretty good, too. He's got...
Fred's a little better.
Have you guys ever filmed together?
Yeah. I mean, I think the last thing we shot was Downtown Showdown.
Was it?
When we had to do like those intros.
Oh, jeez, man. Over the years, but like not like.
I was in Miami when you guys were there.
Yeah, and I was at Bam's house when you were there and stuff too.
You slept in the bushes.
I slept in the bushes at Bam's house.
What do you do?
I think it was his mother. Somebody said that I wouldn't do it, but well, maybe they didn't. Maybe I'm making that up. Give me an excuse to go and
I think you had a good night, and that's where you ended up.
Roger, I will always sleep in a bush given the opportunity. Do you like the way that sounds? You know what a double entendre is? That was your double entendre.
Oh, God, there it is, man.
True.
Listen, bro, huge fan. Thank
All
you,
of us,
bro.
yeah.
I mean,
Appreciate it.
what you've done, what you're going to do, everything.
Thank you.
Can we give you some 9 Club stuff to take home, man?
I would love that.
Yeah?
You got any stickers?
Oh, we got plenty.
Will you put them on your board?
I will put one on my board.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Take an Instagram of it, too.
God damn it, you are requesting a lot here. You want a photo, right? You want a photo? You want me to wear a shirt, with a hat? You want an ad?
We'll give you $20 for photo
wanna-
incentive.
You see a photo set plan.
Yeah,
That's it.
$20.
I'm a fan of what you guys do.
Thank you,
Thank you
bro.
for having
We
me here. You
appreciate
guys
that.
serve fucking amazing. You serve a huge purpose, and
Oh.
like, without like flip
Just trying to have a
sides
good
to
time.
every coin, right? Like
Yeah.
we can't carry on, and like our industry's changing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
let's keep it skate. But thank you.
Yeah. Kelly, will you go grab, what are you, large? Are you the large
I'm a
shirt?
large. Yeah.
Can you go
Long
grab
torso,
him,
short legs,
You know what? I
you that?
have a long torso.
and short body.
Well, I'm about 6 foot.
Yeah.
So I
He's
got
built like a fucking Meerkat.
Thank you, Raj. But no, some of the shirts, I like long shirts.
Yeah, so do I, because I have a long torso, but I have short legs, so that's why I'm a medium, but I need longer mediums.
Listen, though, I want to congratulate you also on the new shoe that's coming out.
Thank you.
That's amazing. Great looking shoe.
The new old shoe.
Great looking shoe.
Old
yeah,
school,
man.
Old school, new school, no school, right?
There you go, man.
The shoe was great back in the day, by the way.
Look at that.
Back in the day,
I mean, I had them. Well, I bought them back in like '99.
And then you said that's coming out in
End of summer.
End of summer.
yeah,
Okay.
probably end of July or
There
something.
you
like
go,
that.
man. So this is the first time people are seeing it.
Yeah.
Exclusive.
Yep.
Thank you for that, bro.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll put that in the.
Yeah, hype beast.
I know. Look at that. Those is that reflective stuff you got on there? Or is
I
that
don't
just a
think so.
gray?
That's just gray.
Did your first one have reflective?
I had reflective on one of those underlays on
Thank
some
you,
of them
Kelly.
early
Oh, the
on.
blue
Thank
one,
you,
right?
bro.
Ooh, the mug's pretty cool.
Listen. 9 Club mug
With some stickers in there.
and some stickers
Got some stickers
for your
yeah.
board that you're going to
Oh,
Instagram.
thank you. My son will be.
Oh, here's some stickers too. We forgot about these ones. So, and then beanie. You're a beanie guy. No.
I'll take a shirt.
Listen.
Hey,
we
look,
don't
I don't take stuff that if I wouldn't wear, I'm not going to take it.
You know what?
I'm the
Respect
dude.
that.
Like this shirt right here is like 5 years old. I don't wear new shit every day.
Okay.
I hate wasting stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Like I'll put stickers on my board and can I have a t-shirt?
You know what?
The grey one.
Look, the beanie's gone. Okay. No beanie. Okay. Here we go. Long sleeve shirt.
Even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Long
psyched on
sleeve
that.
and a short sleeve black. It's a good looking shirt, right?
Yeah, she's a beaut.
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad.
Look at that. And here's a black shirt for you. You like it?
Look at that.
Check
Look
the
at that.
shape. I actually don't mind that.
It's a good one. Look, throw that in the wash.
No, I'll use it to like just mop up the oil in the garage.
You know what?
Fine.
As long as you Instagram you mopping up the.
As long as it's being used.
Yeah, exactly.
No, we appreciate you coming by, man.
likewise, man.
Dude, this has been an honor and a pleasure. You know, like I said, good luck with everything. The shoe. Will you send us a box of shoes when you come
please.
out? Yeah.
Yeah.
Raj, what color you want?
That orange one's
Let's do a
good.
colorway.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
9 Club,
well, we're pretty
Raleigh.
much there. It just needs to
Rowley.
be
Rowley.
darker on the orange on this, and you probably
We
be
use a little
in it.
darker orange though. Look on the
That's what I'm
sticker.
saying.
It's a little dark.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what? We'll send them the Pantone.
Not far off.
Not far off.
Very close.
Black. Oh, with the white, and then the gray. I'm designing. I hope you're taking notes, Jeff. And then the black, where the gray is, we'll put black. You see what I'm
I
saying?
completely disagree.
Dude, would you? Okay, I'm gonna listen. You could design the shoe.
Yeah, I would
It's
rather
your
have
shoe.
that.
No.
You know, we'll just put a woven label on it and call it a day.
Okay, that'll do.
Yeah.
But thanks, man.
No, seriously, dude. Thank you. Again
Did I
for
beat
coming
Mike
up.
V's 5 hours?
I
What
doubt
are we
it.
at?
Not even
You're
close.
a few hours off.
A few hours off. I haven't
Anything
watched
else?
all the mics, but I look forward to it.
I had a question. Who's that to the left of you?
This guy?
Yeah.
Back in it, this is Bob.
Bob. He's been staring me down the whole episode. Let me tell you.
I brought him because I figured the same thing. How intimidating, a wildcat staring at the whole time. I thought, that'll put the edge on my side, right?
right. It looks a little bit like my cat Larry.
No,
but-
this is my spirit animal for
Is
the
it?
day.
Okay.
You know, and that's who that is. There's a bobcat.
It's a bobcat.
from
Beautiful cat.
Just north of Los
Oh.
Angeles. A beautiful animal.
Thus the name Bob.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bob the cat.
Bob the cat.
Bob the cat.